talks to me. I can't see him, but he talks to me.
Now, live from inside the Ocean Casino Resort Studio, here's Mike Gill.
Live on a Thursday edition of the Sports Bash, 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, live videos streaming on the X platform, YouTube, at Mike Gill Show. I'm your host, Mike Gill. Josh Hennings producing today's show. Pete G is my on-site producer. You out there. Thursday Night Football as we begin week number 8 in the NFL. And, of course, the Sixers last night. The news today is interesting. Shams Charania of ESPN reporting that the NBA is going ahead and starting their investigation on the 76ers. They probably watched that product last night and said, you made us put that game on TV and you didn't tell us that Joel Embiid wasn't going to be ready to play by the start of the season. You know, we could have gone and made some backup plans for this, had you had told us that he wasn't going to be ready. Maybe we could have just gone out there and figured out a different game to put on. Sixers got run off the court last night against the Milwaukee Bucks. And, listen, this whole Joel Embiid thing, it is what it is. I mean, the Sixers just don't want to play him. They want to basically take this very, very slow. What did we learn about this team last night? Nothing. If you're the head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers, Nick Nurse, you're pulling your hair out. I mean, the whole season for you, I don't want to say is a complete waste, but every game you have to play without Joel Embiid is a game that you can't figure and learn anything about yourself. And I get it. This guy has done this before with Kawhi Leonard, but Kawhi Leonard's a different kind of cat. Kawhi Leonard is a wing player. Joel Embiid is a unicorn. One of the problems I think coaches have had with Joel Embiid in the past is trying to figure out what to do with a guy that doesn't exist anywhere else. Most people have an offense in the NBA or whatever level of coaching they get to. And there's a player that they have coached somewhere in their life, in their coaching past, that they have used. You have a wing player. You have a point guard. You have a small forward, a three-point shooter. You have something that you have some history of using somewhere down the line in your coaching existence. Very few coaches are handed a 7'2" man that can do just about anything you ask. You want to shoot a three, you want an elbow jumper, you want me to post up. He can do it all. Nobody coaches that guy. So every night you have to play, when you don't get a chance to play with that guy, is a complete waste for that team. Last night's game is a waste for everybody. It's a waste for the entire team, the coach, and everybody surrounding that team, involved with that team. Every night you have to play without Joel Embiid is a night where you can just say, you know what? We might as well not even show up. And it's not because you might win or lose the game. The outcome doesn't really have anything to do with it. It's that this guy is such a unique player that the only way you can figure out how to play with this guy is to play with him. You don't just implement Joel Embiid and say, hey, he's going to play 35 games and then he's going to play in the playoffs. That doesn't work. We've seen this. We've seen the fact that it doesn't work. The Sixers have tried it, and now they're trying this. And it's admirable that they've come up with a new plan for Joel Embiid, but I can't imagine that this is the best way to go about it. Now, Nick Nurse said something last night. I guess he was asked after the game, hey, any update on Joel, the injury situation? And Nick Nurse says, no, he is not hurt. Here's Nick Nurse after the game last night, or before the game.
He did not re-injure himself. But the plan is we don't feel like he's quite ready, strong enough, light enough, whatever it is that they've determined that he's not quite ready to go, hasn't been in any full court scrimmages, etc. And that's the plan.
He did not re-injure himself. They just determined that he's not ready, light enough, whatever, all this stuff. word salad for I don't have an answer for you. I mean, that's what Nick Nurse has been giving us. Word salad for I don't know what to tell you guys. They're just telling me he's not ready. In other words, if I was the person making the decision, he'd probably be out there. But since I'm not the guy who makes that decision, this is what you're getting, and I don't know what you want me to tell you. That's what he gave us last Tuesday when he was asked about it. He says, I don't know what you want me to tell you.
Yeah, Tuesday was the day he said that I don't know what to tell you. And then last night after the game, he was asked about the league's investigating of the Embiid situation.
Well, they are investigating, and I don't know what they're going to find other than, listen, are they willing to take a fine? Do they care about the fine? Do they care if they get fined for not playing Joel Embiid? He's not on. Now, last night I was listening to the radio, I got to say. Tom McGinnis on the call here on 97.3 ESPN, and he said, the Sixers are playing without Joel Embiid and Paul George. They're in sweatpants. They're not in uniform. They're both sitting out with knee problems. I don't know that Tom has any inside information. I think you were just assuming that. One of the reasons why he's not ready to go is that knee. He's wearing a bulky brace on that thing, and he injured it last year and came back and played in the playoffs. He wasn't himself. He wasn't even close to being himself, and now we're wondering, what's wrong? Well, Nick Nurse just said in that clip right there, he didn't re-injure himself. In other words, like, hey, you could take that off the table. He hasn't re-injured himself. Okay, then why isn't he playing? Here's what I know. Shams Charania put out today that the NBA is going to investigate the Sixers. And you know what? I hope they find something. I hope they find something and find them to the max degree. I mean, to not play the guy and just say, listen, I understand he hasn't been healthy. I understand it. But there is something about a journey and the play and to be on the team and on the floor when your team needs you to get ready for a championship. When did it become you only need to play 50 games to win a championship? When did it become we can pick and choose how many games we play to win a championship? I don't know anyone outside of Kawhi Leonard that year that the Raptors kind of load managed him through that year. I don't know any other team that's worked. How many teams win the championship and their best player just picks and chooses when he's healthy enough to play? And I'm not blaming Joel for this. I don't think Joel's saying, hey, I don't feel like playing the first 3 games of the season. But this doesn't seem like there is a recipe of championship success for my background. I don't remember. Am I missing a team? Anybody? Am I missing a team that load managed a team other than Kawhi and the Raptors? That was definitely one where he missed about 17. I think he missed 22 games that year because I want to say they went 17-5 without him. Here's Shams on why the NBA has decided to investigate the 76ers.
It's not like they've shut him down. Right. He has had a history of injuries. And also, for the league's perspective, he hasn't practiced significantly so far in training camp, and he hasn't played in preseason. So having him scrimmage, that's obviously the next step to playing.
So I guess the Sixers are saying, well, he hasn't practiced or played in preseason. What are we doing wrong here?
And the league is saying, well, why?
Why?
You haven't given him a designation with an injury. By the way, Kawhi played 60 games for the Raptors.
17-5. Yeah, it's 22. So 60 less 82, 22 games. So he played 60 games, which is still a pretty fair amount of games to play. I mean, if Joel Embiid played 60 games, I think we would all say, okay, I get it. He
played about 60 last year, I believe.
Embiid, I think he played less. No, he didn't play 60 games. What did he play, 35 games last year, Embiid?
Including the playoffs, probably.
If you throw the playoffs in. But I mean,
Embiid played 39 last year.
Yeah, 39 games he played last year.
Close to 50, 55.
Well, if he played 60 games, I don't think people will have a problem with that. If you're telling me before the season started, he's not playing on the back-to-backs for the most part. And I hate how it's like we're ruling out every back-to-back. Like, why is that a rule? If he's healthy enough and he feels like, hey, you know what, my knees responded well, I want to play tonight, we got a big game, it matters, I'm going to play.
That's where the whole load management thing comes into play. That's load management, not playing back-to-backs.
Exactly. When you predetermine ahead of the season, like, we're not going to play you on back-to-backs, we're not going to do that. Well,
that's today's NBA, though. That's acceptable.
But is it, though?
Yes.
I think if you told the fans ahead of time he's not playing back-to-backs, I think the fans would be on board with that because the fans want him healthy in the playoffs. And that is a way to say, okay, I understand these back-to-backs are tough, on these big men and the travel and the back-to-back and all that stuff. I think most fans can come to terms with the back-to-back is not conducive for a man who's had history of injuries. So I think the fans would be okay with that. I think what the fans are having a problem with is he's sitting out the first 3 games of the season potentially, and there's been no reason given other than he's just not ready to play.
And that's part of the reason why the NBA is investigating, because the league has the same question the fans do is, well, what's going on then? And if Nick Nurse is saying on Tuesday, I don't know what to tell you, and on Wednesday he's saying, well, he's just not ready, and I'm not sure exactly why, well, it doesn't solve anything. It doesn't answer any questions.
No, and listen, I think if there was a reason, if there was an explanation, I think people would be a little bit more understanding.
100%.
Because the fans want Embiid healthy in the playoffs. But part of being healthy in the playoffs, there also is you can't give me one extreme to the next. You can't tell me we're trying to get him healthy for the playoffs, but we're not going to play him at all for, I don't know, is it 3 games? Is it 5 games? Is it 7 games? Does 7 turn into 10? When is he ready and healthy? I don't know. Is healthy even the word I'm allowed to use? Because apparently he is healthy.
Well, healthy, because Embiid's never going to be 100%. Like, his knees just will not allow him to be 100%.
No, I mean, you're right about that.
So
he cannot. I have no problem if you told, listen, one of the things we're going to try this year is he's not going to play on back-to-backs, and, maybe if we play, 3 games in 5 days, he might miss one of them. Instead of playing, not on the back-to-backs, he might play Monday, he won't play Wednesday, and he'll play Friday. Okay, you've given me some sort of plan, and the reason for the plan is we're trying to keep him healthy, and, he's had some history of injuries. If you just explain it to the people, I think they'll accept what's going on. Instead, you got people revolting because you sat him out and didn't give any explanation.
Because he did play in the Olympics, too.
That didn't do them any favors.
That
did him
is
no
really,
favors.
He played in the Olympics, then he had a couple weeks off, and then he had more time off with the training camp in the Bahamas.
And all the reports were, look, hey, man, he lost some weight. He looks like he's in good shape. Now, are the Sixers saying we wanted him to lose X amount of pounds? He didn't get to that number, so he's being penalized for that. This is almost like, an NFL player. They have to get to a certain weight, and if they don't make weight, they get fined. Did the Sixers say, we want you to be at give me a number. What's a number where 220? And if you're not at 220, you can't play?
It does sound like the concussion protocol in the NFL.
I just, listen, I think the Sixers, they do themselves no favors, okay? The messaging they give in this one is terrible. We got a guy, he's not playing, and we're not telling you why.
Well, let me ask you this. If Embiid played last night and then he takes off a week, would you have a problem with the fans have a problem with that? Is it just because he missed the opener that's the problem?
I don't think it's even that he missed the opener. I think it's that he missed the opener and no reason was given.
Yeah, to me, everything I've seen from everyone I've talked to and everything I've seen online, guys, is that people just want an answer. They don't even care what the answer is anymore.
Right. Hey, listen, he played in the Olympics. I watched it with my own 2 eyes. Why is he not playing now?
What if
and
there
you're
is
telling
no
him
answer?
and you're telling me he's not hurt. Well, if there is no answer, then
That's
he should be
unacceptable.
playing. Then he should be playing, and that's what the NBA is saying. If he's not hurt, he didn't re-injure himself. I heard Evan Cohen doing this before, I came on today. He was talking to Hembo. He said, hey, I'm Adam Silver. Why did your guy play in the Olympics and he didn't play? I mean, his questions were all valid. I'm Adam Silver, and I say to Daryl Morey, I watched Joel Embiid play in the Olympics. Why did he not play on opening night? We had a game on ESPN television against the Bucks. It's a huge Eastern Conference game. We're kicking off our season. We picked your team to represent us in that game. And you're telling me he didn't play and gave me no reason. Give me a reason, and then I can say, okay. So they're getting investigated for it.
To me, the only reason could be either he re-injured himself and they're not telling us.
Okay, Nick Nurse said, now are we calling Nick Nurse a liar?
Nick Nurse has said twice, and Brian Windhorst reported that Joel Embiid did not re-injure himself.
Re-injure himself, or did he just
Play the Nurse audio again, because he gave a litany of things in that audio that I think is kind of interesting. Can you play the Nurse thing again?
He did not re-injure himself. But the plan is we don't feel like he's quite ready, strong enough, light enough, whatever it is that they've determined that he's not quite ready to go, hasn't been in any full court scrimmages, etc. And that's the plan.
Okay, he's not strong enough. He's not light enough. That's the comment that stands out to me. He's not strong enough and he's not light enough. This almost, again, goes back to it feels like when you come to training camp and there's certain things that you have to hit, like weight and whatever measurements that they want you to be at. It almost feels like he didn't hit those measurements, so they're not. But, I mean, you can't not play the guy because of that. So
It's like an NFL conditioning test.
yeah, exactly. Like, hey, you have to be at a certain weight, otherwise you're not going to play, or usually they fine you in that kind of situation.
Like I remember when LeGarrette Blount was signed by the Patriots, and they told him he had to show up at a certain weight or he wouldn't get his money.
Everybody gets that same declaration. Every player in the league has to be at a certain weight when they report, otherwise they get fined for it. I'm not saying that because you can't just say, hey, you're not going to play, but I'm saying what Nurse says that's what it makes it sound like, but that can't be the reason. So if you're the NBA investigating the Sixers, and listen, they have every right to. I'd be pissed if I was Adam Silver. This is unacceptable. I mean, this is like, hey, my dog ate my homework kind of stuff here. Well, why isn't he playing? I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you don't even have a hypothesis as to what could have been the case.
I'm trying to compare it to something else, and what I come up with is Christian McCaffrey this year. Week 1, he wasn't out. He wasn't ready to play. Then we find out he goes to Germany and gets some sort of treatment over there. Are we going down that road?
But see, the difference is we actually knew what McCaffrey's injury was.
I was going to say, McCaffrey has a legitimate injury to that. They sent him to another country to go. They're not sending Joel Embiid anywhere. He's just not playing.
Yet.
Maybe they do need to send him somewhere.
I don't know. I mean, well, they're telling us he's not injured.
So if he's not injured and he's not light enough or strong enough, then
his body is not allowing him to play at a high level right now.
Listen, I think
that's where I'm at.
I don't know what's the wording that the NBA, with this load management, that they don't want you to load manage. What is like the wording of, like, they changed it last year where they don't want people load managing. Like, they don't want you just sitting out, especially nationally televised games.
You can't win the MVP award.
Well, they have that where it's like 60 games, but
yeah.
Isn't there something where if you're healthy and you're not on the injured list, then you basically have to play? And what's the wording that if you don't play, you're basically at the point the Sixers are at right now, right?
Correct.
So if the Sixers come out and say, listen, Joel Embiid played in the Olympics and he went through training camp and he has had some knee problems in the past. We don't like the way his knee has responded from those Olympic games, and he's a little bit behind. Was everybody okay with that explanation?
I mean, that's at least an explanation.
I mean, that sounds like where Nurse was trying to go today. Like he didn't re-injure anything. In other words, it's the same injury.
So really quick, I pulled up the Bobby Marks article from last year where he breaks down the new rules. So the first part of the rule for the league's participation policy, Mike, is that no more than one star player can be unavailable for the same game unless there is a legitimate injury.
Okay, so they had 2 star players out last night. One has a injury what did the injury report say last night?
About Paul George or?
About both of them. Were they both listed as something?
I had to pull it up again, but I didn't see Embiid actually listed with an injury on.
Like, was he listed as rest? Was he listed as knee? Was he listed as overweight? I mean,
I know Paul George, for him, it said knee.
Footer.
Yeah, I mean, what was the designation next to Embiid's name last night?
Here it is. So it was, Embiid was listed as illness - left knee / injury management.
That sounds like Daryl Morey to a T right there.
Well, I don't know that fits the description of what you're saying. Bobby Marks is saying that 2 guys can't be out unless there's legitimate. So illness, what does he have? Gastroenteritis again?
That would be at least an answer.
Right. I mean, like in the playoffs, he
like
usually
the
gets
Toronto,
diarrhea.
Yeah, the Toronto series. Remember, he had all the stomach and bowel.
Yeah, I mean, he's had many a games where he's had gastroenteritis. What was it? Left knee management? How was it worded?
So the wording here is left knee, semicolon, injury management.
It almost sounds like they're trying to invent something that hasn't been listed so that they can try to be like, well, he's got a left knee and we're managing that. It sounds to me as if Nurse is telling the truth. He didn't re-injure anything, but the knee problem that he had last year isn't where they want it to be. And I think if they just said that, hey, that knee from last year, listen, he missed a lot of games. Joel pushed to get back for the playoffs, and he played in those playoffs. And he thought that he was ready to play in the Olympics, and as you could see in the Olympics, he really wasn't himself. But, he's a tough – because I think you got to throw that out there, too.
That's what happened with Kawhi Leonard. He bailed on the Olympics. He had
did.
to.
Well,
He
I'm glad,
bail on the Olympics.
Pete, I'm glad you brought that up because that was Cole from LBI's theory. He texted in the text board, Mike, which is about how how Kawhi has the knee inflammation that won't go down, and that's why he's out indefinitely.
They came out and said that, though.
Right, Cole from LBI says, basically, is there a potential that this is a pain tolerance and his knee inflammation is just not flushing in order to play a basketball game?
They came out and said that he's going to be out indefinitely with
Kawhi,
the knee problem. Yeah, with the knee problem. The Sixers aren't saying he's out indefinitely. They're just saying he's not playing the first 3 games. Or that's the report anyway.
Well, but then they won't tell us why. Except for on the injury report, it says left knee injury management.
I don't know what he's managing. This is my hypothesis, would be Nurse is not lying. He hasn't re-injured the knee. The knee has not responded. And as I was explained, he missed the second half of last year. He pushed and fought to come back and play to help the team in the playoffs. He obviously wasn't himself, but he wanted to represent his country. He fought to play there because he was feeling better. He obviously wasn't himself in those Olympics, but helped them win a gold medal. Because I think what you have to do is there are people questioning his toughness.
Correct.
You have people that think he is soft, and you are questioning his toughness. So the messaging from the team needs to be, this guy is fighting to play, as evidenced by him coming back for the playoffs last year and then getting on the court with the Olympic team because he wanted to get out there and show that he belonged. But because of him maybe overextending himself when he probably wasn't ready, it has now set him back for the start of the season.
Yeah, to me,
would we be okay with that messaging?
Yes, because to me, he wants to be out there. His body just will not allow him to be out there at this time.
609-403-0973, 609-403-0973. In an hour from now, Keith Smith, who covers the NBA, will give us his thoughts on, is this investigation going to lead to anything? What does he think and what is he hearing about Joel Embiid? Paul George as well. When could Paul George return to the 76ers? We'll have the Sixers tomorrow night against the Raptors on 97.3 ESPN, and that will take you to Game 1 of the Yankees-Dodgers World Series. So we'll go Sixers-Raptors to Game 1 of the World Series tomorrow night on 97.3 ESPN. Tonight we have Thursday Night Football. I'm kind of intrigued by the game. Minnesota and the Rams. You can hear it right here on 97.3 ESPN. We're live at Chickies and Pete's in Atlantic City, home of the Sweet Heat Rings from A.J. Brown. Stop out and check those out here. And we will be here till 6 o'clock tonight with a lot of stuff on the Eagles-Bengals. Sixers lost last night. The Flyers look like a flat tire.
Do we have to talk about them?
No, we don't.
But we will.
We got more to come here on the Sports Bash, live on 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, live video, streaming on the X platform and YouTube at Mike Gill Show. Use the hashtag SBLive.
You're listening to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Never thought this radio stunt would catch on so big.
On 97.3 ESPN.
Cooper's our new neighbor down the shore.
Introducing Cooper University Hospital, Cape Regional.
Healthcare is going to improve in Cape May County.
We're excited to bring our award-winning care to our new neighbors in Cape May and Atlantic counties. You'll have greater access to top specialists, advanced technology, innovative treatments, and outstanding cancer care at MD Anderson Cancer Center at Cooper. Cooper University Healthcare.
Extraordinary happens here.
Halloween's coming alive at Target. Jackie and Gordy, the Jack-O-Lanterns, here with a front porch view of Target's Halloween deals, like Best House on the Block trick-or-treat candy starting at $5.99.
Sweet. Don't forget, can't wait to wear it costumes from $15.
Can't wait to see it. Oh, and decorating and pumpkin carving kits for $5.
That's how I got my big toothy grin.
This week only, trick-or-treat candy starts at $5.99, costumes from $15, and decorating and pumpkin carving kits for $5. Make your Halloween come alive at Target. Restrictions apply.
Every 4 years, the world watches. Every corner kick, every save, every pass. The world watches its most beautiful game played at its highest level. And for a moment, the world stops turning for soccer. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank sponsor of FIFA World Cup 2026, supporting possibilities turned into achievements on the biggest stage. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America N.A. member FDIC.
Need a little help? O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. Need advice? We've got advice. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Exceptional customer service. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Ad paid for by RFA Cancellation. Attention timeshare owners. If you need to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, please listen to the following message. Getting out of a timeshare commitment is not easy, and it takes time. But we specialize in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares forever. Can't get the vacation dates that work for you? Maybe you felt taken advantage of or forced into the timeshare? Maybe you just can't continue to shoulder those monthly payments any longer. If you need to eliminate your timeshare commitment, then you need to take down this number, 800-290-1569. We will safely and legally get rid of your timeshare payments forever, all with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't continue to let your timeshare be a financial burden to you and your loved ones. Call us now at 800-290-1569. The call is free. The consultation is free. Call 800-290-1569. That's 800-290-1569. Again, 800-290-1569.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire, or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-630-9723 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. Call 800-564-9170 now. 800-564-9170. That's 800-564-9170. What do you have to lose? Call 800-564-9170. Again, 800-564-9170.
97.3 ESPN has teamed up with Seize the Deal for incredible weekly offers from some fantastic local restaurants. Here's this week's big deal.
Get a $50 gift card, good for use, at Doyle's Poorhouse in Tuckerton for just $25.
Get this great deal starting Friday at 9 a.m. at seizethedeal.com. Hurry, chances are this deal will sell quickly. For more info on this great deal, go to seizethedeal.com.
SeizeTheDeal.com.
It's the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Do I have everybody's attention now?
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
When you come to our games, you want to see your favorite player. You want to see Joel. You want to see Paul George. And we're going to be smart about Paul George as well. The league office has, I think, correctly put a focus on having the players available. And look, tonight Joel and Paul just can't be available. Investigation, they do that anytime a star player misses. So that is something that always happens.
All right, Sports Pass Live, 97.3 ESPN. Daryl Morey didn't seem too worried about this investigation. He said, unfortunately, they can't play tonight. Is that an acceptable enough answer for everybody? Hey, listen, we all want Joel healthy. If he's legitimately unable to play for whatever reason it is, what's the reason? Your parents tell you, take out the trash. You got home, the trash didn't get taken out. You say, why didn't you take out the trash? Mom, I forgot. Okay, you gave me a reason. It's a lousy reason, but a reason nonetheless. Give me a lousy reason. Give me a terrible reason. Not Nick Nurse saying, I don't know what to tell you. That's not a reason. It's not a reason. Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, streaming live video on the X platform and YouTube at Mike Gill Show. Use the hashtag SBLive. All right, Josh, give me some of the text messages. I see a lot of text coming in on the subject.
Yeah, a bunch of text coming in, 609-403-0973. Terry in Galloway says the fans should boycott this joke of a franchise. Why is anyone going to games to support this team?
Fair question, but, some people don't care. Some people are just fans. Everybody acts like you have to be a rebel and turn your back. I mean, some people just want to be entertained and just like the games, Terry.
Or some people just like to go to the game for the game, the experience of it.
I think that's what I was just saying, right?
We're conditioned.
Some people just like going to a game. They like being entertained. They like being in the I'm one of those people. I could care less if Joel Embiid's playing. Like, in terms of being a fan and go, like, if you told me, hey, we're going to the game tonight and Joel Embiid's not playing, I'm not the kind of guy that's going, well, if Embiid's not playing, I'm not going. Like, that's not me. Now, I get it. Other people only go one night a year, and they might want to see Joel Embiid.
Or when a visiting team comes and LeBron James is sitting out, load management, or whoever. Pick your player.
Yeah, the visiting player.
Yeah.
When they come to town one time, and it's like, hey, the guy's not here. I paid money to see LeBron James. I feel for those people. And they have it stinks, like what Terry's saying. If you're that person and only gets to go to one game and you bought tickets to see opening night because you thought you're going to see Joel Embiid and Paul George the first time they ever play together, and you get told the day before they're not playing, that sucks. I get that. So I'm not like, saying that Terry's in the wrong, but there are people out there, read me that text again.
The text went, the fans should boycott this joke of a franchise. Why is anyone going to games to support this team?
Yeah, I mean, every fan has every right, Terry, but guess what? They're not where you are. They're not saying it's a joke of a franchise. You are, and that's your right to say that. If you are at the point where you think they are, other people say, look, I like this team. I know they frustrate me, but I still love basketball. Like, the whole – I don't want to go down that whole road, but the whole, like, people who just – don't use certain products or whatever for certain reasons. If I like the product, I'm going to use the product. I like basketball. I'm going to watch basketball. Now, yes, the team takes advantage of the fact, but Terry, you have the right to boycott them. To say, why don't all the fans boycott them? Because not everybody is on the same level as you are and saying, I'm done with this team, or you have every right to say that. There's a lot of people out there that like basketball. They want to go watch the team. They're frustrated. Being frustrated and getting to the point of boycotting something are totally different levels of anger, of being a sports fan or just a human being in general. Like, when you get to that point where you are boycotting something, I feel like there's a bigger picture problem somewhere.
That's pretty heavy.
Yeah, that's a bigger picture problem. Like, sports aren't all that important that we have to boycott the team because they're not transparent enough.
Both things are true because they are not transparent enough. That's true.
That's true as well.
Yeah.
Another text coming in, Mike. It's person didn't leave their name, but they said the real issue is if Embiid isn't well enough to play the first couple of games, is sitting out another week or so really going to fix anything? Like, is he not good enough for games 1 through 3, but game 4 he's all better?
That's with all injuries. I mean, like, when's the fine line that, like, he can play Tuesday, or he can't play Tuesday, but he'll be ready on Wednesday? Like, why wasn't he ready Tuesday? Like, what was the big difference that allowed him to be, like all these things? I don't know see, without knowing what the injury problem, like they're saying he doesn't have another injury.
That's, to me, it's more of a condition at this point.
Yeah, you could
It's
say
a
that he's
condition.
not conditioned enough. And I think people would say, okay, like, hey, listen, he had the knee problems, and we didn't get him to the level of activity in training camp that we would have liked.
I mean, I hate to sound like a conspiracy guy, but are the Sixers trying to cover up for something to, like, protect Embiid and, because they don't want the world to know exactly what happened?
Anything's possible at this point. You know why? The Sixers have opened up for all conspiracy theories because they gave you no reason. That's why. You have opened up for the Terrys of the world to say, boycott this team. You've opened up for the Yahoos on the other side of the world saying Embiid hurt himself at the Olympics. You've opened up every possible theory because you gave no explanation. When someone doesn't do their job, why did they not show up for their job tonight? Josh, if you just don't show up for work and don't give me a reason, I'm going to say, the guy was a no-call, no-show. You know what that means?
You're fired.
You're fired. Now,
Oh, hey, Q Myers mentioned that to you yesterday, Mike. He brought up the point. He said, look, if you expect me to show up for something and I just don't no-call, no-show, he's like, doesn't that impact how you look at me?
and if the Sixers say, look, now he wasn't a no-call, no-show, but he showed up and he didn't play. So, therefore, I would like an explanation.
Right.
I'm a paying customer.
It's like if I came to work today, Mike, and I just sat down and said, hey, Mike, I'm here, but I'm not doing any work today. And you'd be like, well, why? And I just gave you no explanation.
You showed up, but you did nothing. So, therefore, you basically were here, present, but didn't do your job.
Right.
And that's what we basically have here. Now, it's not fair to lump Joel into this. He might be stuck in the middle of this through no fault of his own. What else we got?
John from Buna chimes in on the text board at 609-403-0973. John says, today's NBA players soft and babied. Bird, Jordan, Ewing, Barkley never set out unless they were really hurt. This is all a joke, and I'm not even a Sixer fan, says John in Buna.
It is a joke. In my mind, he's right. I mean, for the league to have to investigate the team because they had a player sitting there with no reason given not playing, yes, it's a joke.
Matt from Absecon chimes in the text board, Mike. He says, Daryl Morey claimed that Joel Embiid isn't light enough, ?
Fine. If you want to come out and say that, that's an acceptable reason. He came in out of shape, and we're penalizing him for
But shouldn't that be communicated to the head coach? He doesn't have to get up front of the media and says, I don't know what to tell you?
That's what I'm saying. That's an acceptable reason. If they said Joel is not in the shape we want him to be in, and therefore he's not playing. Now, I don't know that the league is going to be
throwing
okay.
Joel under the bus. Maybe they don't want to do that.
That could be a pot, but I'm saying I don't know that the league is okay with that. I don't know that the league is saying, okay, you're out of shape, you're not playing, fine. I think the league is saying, that's not our problem.
They gave him $193 million a month ago, and now he's not in shape. That's not a good look.
No, it's not. And maybe that's what and Nurse hinted at that in that comment that he's not light enough. Isn't that what he said?
Yeah, I'll play it again, but he pointed to Joel Embiid's weight in the one part of the comment. Here it is.
He did not re-injure himself, but the plan is we don't feel like he's quite ready, strong enough, light enough, whatever it is that they've determined that he's not quite ready to go, hasn't been in any full court scrimmages, etc. And that's the plan.
That's Nick Nurse giving up information and then stopping himself midway in there and saying, I think I went too far.
That's like a politician who gave away too much information at a
That's
debate.
the Nick Sirianni school of PR.
Yeah, he's not strong enough. He's not light enough. And
I told you too much.
And I told you too much.
I called the play on third down.
Yeah.
But I didn't call the play on third down.
Yeah. I feel like if the Sixers were just transparent about it in any capacity. Now, you might not like the transparency. He's out of shape. He's overweight. He's not where we want him to be. All that stuff. Not, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, could you give me a worse answer? And I'm not blaming Nurse. I feel bad for Nurse.
I agree. I feel bad for Nurse. Nurse is being put in a no-win situation here.
Well, as the coach of the team, too, he probably thinks this is ridiculous. Because the coach is only caring about the on-court product. Is the guy available to me or not?
Right.
That's
yes
what he cares
or no.
about. Now, I mean, sure, there's a human side of it that he wants the guy to be in good, he wants him to be healthy. But as the coach of the team, he probably has Joel Embiid say, Coach, I can help you. I'm ready to play. And they might be saying, no, we're not playing you, man. You're not ready to go. And the coach is saying, well, the guy's saying he's ready to play, and you're telling me he can't play. So now you're sticking this guy to be the mouthpiece of the messenger of all this stuff, and he's on the side of the player, and yet he's being told you can't play the guy.
Not to mention last year, I mean, he dealt with this last year, and last night's team looked a lot like last year's team with just Maxey and no one else.
Listen, last night,
with new players,
we didn't talk a lot about the game last night because of all this sideshow circus. Maxey did not shoot the ball well. Gordon did not shoot the ball well. If you want to get some positive, I thought Yabusele looks like a guy who's a nice role player for them. Drummond gives them a presence, at least when
Caleb
Embiid's
Martin
not
was
there.
fun to watch.
That's interesting. Remember we heard that Embiid called Drummond to recruit him this offseason?
Well, yesterday, Paul Hendrick brought it up that the Sixers tried to trade for Drummond at the deadline last year, and the Bulls said no, and then they just lost him for nothing. He's like, why wouldn't the Bulls just take the draft picks? The Sixers offered you something for him.
To me, I'm going to connect those dots, that Embiid knew that he wasn't going to be able to play a lot of games this year, and that's why he made the call.
I can't get behind that.
Connecting those dots.
I can't get behind that, and I'll tell you why. Embiid has been here long enough to know that everybody who has backed him up, other than Drummond, has been a disaster. And he's saying, when you were here 2 years ago, you were the best guy we had. Can you please come back? And then that doesn't put as much pressure on me to have to play every single night, because at least we have a capable backup. Because when I go out of the game, we lose all the time. Every time I leave the game, we get blasted.
Every time.
So I don't think it's because of that reason. I think it's more, hey, I need a guy that's capable.
I'm connecting those dots.
That's a very big conspiracy theory. What else we got?
I was just going to say really quick, I think we need to mention Caleb Martin had a good night last night as well. I mean, he almost had a double-double himself. So, I mean, that's a positive take out of last night.
Yeah, I mean, all these guys, they did a nice job. I think Yabusele is a nice addition. Martin, he's a nice addition. Gordon didn't shoot it last night very well. But, he's a guy that can score. The team is better.
The only guy who shot good last night was Kyle Lowry.
Didn't it remind you of last year's team, basically, with no Embiid?
It's the same thing, as I said in the opener.
Thing.
It doesn't matter what this team looks like. If Joel Embiid is not playing, they aren't good enough. I don't care if they won 75 games and Joel Embiid didn't play. Once they got to the playoffs, they wouldn't be good enough.
But what if you add Paul George to the mix?
Yeah, sure. If you add, Paul George without Embiid?
Are they a play-in team? Are they better than that?
I think Paul George without Embiid, they're good. They're not a championship team. And quite frankly, look, to say they're a championship team with Embiid and Paul George and Maxey, sure, they're a fringe level team. They're not better than Boston. I don't know that they're better than anybody else like the Knicks or whoever. I mean, they're one of the teams that, yes, could win a championship, but they need a lot of things to go their way. And this isn't the way. One of the things to go their way is not having your best guy have to miss the first 3 games of the year. And listen, I understand. We can be in April having this conversation right now, laughing. Remember those 3 games he missed? We were all complaining.
That's what we're hoping for.
And it doesn't matter in the big picture that if he's healthy and plays in the playoffs, these 3 games won't matter. But it's the messaging that's always a problem. And why isn't he playing? And we don't know that he's going to get to April healthy. Why are these 3 games any different than game 4? Why are these 3 games any different than game 7? That's all.
Mike, one more text I want to squeeze in here. Cole from LBI followed up with this. He says, Daryl Morey should be investigated by the NBA owners for giving a 7-footer with bad knees a $193 million extension.
Yeah, that's what I question is what that was a month ago, too. That was like literally late September.
Well, I would ask the question, do we think that they didn't make sure that he was healthy enough before do you think they just willy-nilly wrote a check for $192 million?
No, but, well, you know what? I don't know. I can't answer that question.
I got it. I got the answer for you. I don't think they did. Listen, anybody who's getting ready to write that check had to go through the ringer before they signed that deal.
You believe so?
Yes. Yeah. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we give that guy $192 million? But he's got bad knees. I don't care.
Well,
Just give him the money anyway.
Well, then suit him up and get him out there for game one.
Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City, streaming live video on the X platform and YouTube at Mike Gill Show. Use the hashtag SBLive. Watch the show live. Listen to it on the app. And, of course, come out and see us live in person. We are at Chickies and Pete's in Atlantic City. Next hour, a little football with Johnny Mack. The Eagles getting ready for this Bengals team. It's a matchup between Burrows and Hurts. They played against each other one time. It was in college. That's coming up at 3 o'clock today on the Sports Bash.
It's Sixers basketball tomorrow night on 97.3 ESPN with the voice of the Sixers, Tom McGinnis, calling all the exciting play-by-play action.
Maxey for three, outside left, bullseye. He puts it in. A crossover dribble on McBride, and he pours in a triple.
It's Sixers Raptor tomorrow night. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. It's Sixers basketball all season long on South Jersey's radio home for Philadelphia 76ers basketball. 97.3 ESPN.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Don't get left in the dark. Calvi Electric, a certified Generac dealer, has you covered. From installation to maintenance, they're your go-to experts for Generac generators, ensuring your home stays powered through any storm. A Generac home standby generator will automatically restore power to your home during an outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Put your trust in Calvi Electric, the premier electrical contractor serving South Jersey for over 115 years. Visit calvielectric.com today or call 609-345-0151.
This season, get premium tech that inspires joy from Dell Technologies. Bring projects to life with the XPS 16. It delivers supercharged processing for enhanced productivity and freedom to express yourself. Performance-class Dell PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors deliver a dedicated engine to help accelerate AI. Enjoy free shipping, Dell rewards, and expert support. When you get a Dell PC with AI, it gives back. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, joining MediShare means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people, obviously. But what's more, MediShare members like it a lot. Their satisfaction rate is 98%. Imagine that. And MediShare is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing. If you join before October 30th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee. So you save even more right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is October 30th. So call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
If I was to describe this sandwich in one word, I would say magical. Hi, this is Jamore, and the little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A honey pepper pimento chicken sandwich is that extra oomph. I go back and forth from the spicy filet to the original filet. I get into the sweetness of the honey, then you have the extra kick from the spicy filet. The combination alone takes it over the top. It's award-winning.
The Chick-fil-A Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich is back with a bite. Try it with the original or spicy filet, now for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonial.
Get your holidays started with the perfect tree in your perfect style from the Home Depot. Whether you want something that you can assemble in a few clicks, steal the show with over 2,000 color-changing bulbs, or a tree with lights that can be controlled by remote or foot pedal. The Home Depot has it all in our huge assortment of premium trees. Plus, get free delivery on over 2 million items this holiday from the Home Depot. Subject to availability, see homedepot.com/delivery for details.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe and then it spread. and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
When you're hiring, ZipRecruiter's technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. What if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
Equals 42.
And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, the official sports bar of your Philadelphia Eagles. Our new menu includes our boneless wing special every Monday. Buy a single order of our mouth-watering boneless wings and get a snack order of boneless wings free. Every Tuesday and Wednesday, it's buy one, get one free snows. Buy any number of delectable snow crab legs and get the same amount free, plus the Kelsey combo, tasty buffalo fried shrimp, seafood pasta in our famous Sicilian or red sauce. Participating locations for a limited time. Chickies and Pete's.
You're listening to the Sports Bag with Mike Gill.
And it just keeps getting better.
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
All right. 252 live at Chickies and Pete's, those sweet heat wings. Is that what you order there, Peachy?
No, I go with chicken parm.
Right, chicken parm.
That's a chicken parm sandwich, man.
You love that chicken parm sandwich.
I love it. I look forward to these Thursdays.
Live at Chickies and Pete's in Atlantic City. Flyers lost last night. They got it back within 4-3 on a Michkov goal. I flipped back, and it was 6-3. It was 4-3.
Yeah, the empty netter they gave up was just awful.
Oh, it was so bad. Ovechkin had an easy shot.
Well, that's generally what happens with an empty net. There's nobody there to.
Well, there wasn't anyone.
No,
there.
we mean there was no one to contest him.
I saw it. I saw it.
Just skated right off the ice when a pass was coming right to him.
Well, I mean, the game was kind of in check at that point. The 4-3 blast or 4-2 to make it 4-3 by Michkov, you felt like, all right. And then next thing you know, it was 5-3. And then, yeah, the empty netter is it's elementary there, my dear Watson.
That guy is so good that he's just so much better than his teammates, and that's going to be the issue all year.
Right, he's on a team that he's a varsity player, and he's playing with JVs.
Exactly.
Michkov.
That's a good one right there.
609-403-0973. What do we got?
Mr. 305 wants to know, Mike, when is the squeeze not worth the juice with Embiid? Are you getting your ROI with Joel Embiid?
I tell you the same thing I'll say. I would go 9-72 all over again if it meant I got Joel Embiid. That's my answer. The juice is, by the way,
yeah,
Mr. 305, is the juice worth the squeeze? It's the other way around. You get the juice after you squeeze. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Not is the squeeze worth the juice?
I'm just letting you know, Mike. I just Ron Burgundied that. I just read exactly how he typed it.
That's fine. I'm just giving Mr. 305 a friendly,
free lesson.
Free lesson that is the juice worth the squeeze? The juice is worth the squeeze. Listen. When you draft a MVP player, you hope that you win a championship. Many guys who are in the pantheon of the best players in the league, they don't win a championship in year 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6
Keep going.
or 7 or 8.
Do they make it out of the second round?
Well, Michael Jordan, year 8. LeBron James, what year did it take him? 8? Kevin Durant. No, I'm not saying Joel Embiid's automatically going to win one because it's whatever season, but when you're in that pantheon, yes, the juice is worth the squeeze. You're acting like there's 50 of these guys in the league there, 305.
This is South Jersey's official home for Philadelphia Eagles football. The Eagles continue the 2024 season this Sunday in Cincinnati against the Bengals.
Let it go, and it is caught into the touchdown. James Brown. When there's a question, go to A.J. Brown.
Listen to all the action with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick with pregame coverage starting at noon and kickoff at 1 p.m. This is the play-by-play home of the Philadelphia Eagles, 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's Eagles station.
Jersey Cow, a great place for the family to hang out and eat ice cream. At Jersey Cow, everything is homemade, small batch, right here in South Jersey with only the best ingredients. Enjoy Jersey Cow in Northfield and Brigantine with all the fall flavors, bringing back popular classics while introducing some future favorites as well. For the best ice cream with constantly rotating flavors, come taste the best homemade delicious ice cream made right at Jersey Cow. Visit every day from noon till 10 at both Northfield and Brigantine locations. Ice cream, a year-round thing at Jersey Cow.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you could use that money towards scoring courtside seats for your favorite team. Progressive cannot guarantee that you can score courtside seats. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, but courtside seats can be astronomical. Maybe if your team plays in a smaller market, you could swing it. Even still, it's unlikely. Maybe fourth row, which are still incredible seats that you'll enjoy greatly. Savings possible. Courtside, long shot. Switch and see if you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates. Not available in all states. Progressive cannot guarantee that someone really tall will not sit in front of you at the game, rendering your excellent seats just okay.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop!
The time of year for killer deals. You've had your eye on some hot new wheels. We want to pay off your loan or lease and tell your old car to rust in peace.
Take your Matt Black Kia today. Buried in a loan or lease? Matt Black Kia wants to get you released and treat yourself to 0 down, 0 payments until next year. Even 0% up to 72 months on every clearly marked new Matt Black Kia in stock. You won't need a costume to get a brand new Matt Black Kia Forte LXS under 20 grand. That's right, a brand new Kia, just $19,999 with any trade. That's less than most used vehicles.
It's gotta be a Matt Black Kia.
Approved credit 24 EV9 and 6, $1388 per thousand. Not all will qualify. Credit may affect down payment. Offers can be combined. Go to mattblackkia.com for complete details or 888-505-6670. Price includes all costs to be paid by consumer, except for licensing, registration, and taxes. Through KMF, rebate and incentives to deal. Expires 10/31/24. Matt Black Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike. Egg Harbor Township and on Route 37 in Toms River.
The time for holiday hosting is upon us, so make your second bathroom second to none with HomeDepot.com's best savings of the season. Right now, enjoy up to 40% off select online bath. Find the latest on-trend styles of vanities, faucets, showers, tubs, toilets, and more. All at prices that will let your budget relax right along with you and your beautifully renovated bath. Get up to 40% off select online bath plus free delivery at the Home Depot. Subject to availability, see HomeDepot.com/delivery for details.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two have geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Don't get left in the dark. Calvi Electric, a certified Generac dealer, has you covered. From installation to maintenance, they're your go-to experts for Generac generators, ensuring your home stays powered through any storm. A Generac home standby generator will automatically restore power to your home during an outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Put your trust in Calvi Electric, the premier electrical contractor serving South Jersey for over 115 years. Visit calvielectric.com today or call 609-345-0151.
South Jersey's official play-by-play home of the Eagles, Sixers, and Flyers.
At 0 point would I ever consider not being a fan of the team.
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey. This is the Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. Now live from inside the Ocean Casino Resort Studio, here's Mike Gill.
All right, 3 o'clock Sports Bash live at Chickies and Pete's Atlantic City. This hour of the show, it's brought to you by Broadlee's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, your trusted source for plumbing service installation. 609-390-3907, online broadlees.net. You know, that liner ID before we come in, Greeny saying at no point am I not going to be a fan of the team, that's for Terry and Galloway.
Well, he's a Jets fan as well, so.
At no point, Terry, am I not going to be a fan of the team? That's just taking it to extremes. John McMullen, Birds 365 is the show, weekday mornings at 8 a.m. on the Jacob Media YouTube channel, Sports Illustrated, and right here on the Sports Bash, he is brought to you by Boardwalk Honda. Shop their lineup of new, pre-owned, and certified pre-owned Hondas online at boardwalkhonda.com. You know, John, a lot of talk about this Embiid stuff. I want to kind of bring it into the football world because they've given no reason, right? They really haven't said anything. I said this is akin to like a player showing up to training camp and being overweight or something. You know, is he just overweight and he's getting fined or he's not? You know what I mean? Like it seems that like when players go to training camp, they can't not play them because they're overweight, can they? They just fine them? Is that what happens? Gotcha. Right. Well, yeah, I mean, you got the coach. Have you ever had a coach basically answer the question that says, I don't know what to tell you? I mean, what's that code word for? Well, and Maury made it sound like this is normal. Anytime a guy doesn't play, that they'll investigate it. But that's the thing. They said he's not hurt. There's no injury designation that makes any sense anyway. It's just a weird story. And I know you used to cover the NBA, and the things are way different now because of load management, and the league's trying to eliminate that. I imagine the NBA watched that game last night and said, "That's the product you made us put on television." Like, we want an answer. Mm-hmm. All right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that to me was like him and the front office and the messaging not all being on the same page. Like him saying, the player's ready, I want him to play, and you're telling me he can't. I don't know what to tell these people. Yeah. That's listen, and somebody texted in earlier, and not to go down a whole rabbit hole, but at what point he said, "Is the juice not worth the squeeze?" And I said, "Listen, if you get the chance to get a Joel Embiid type of player, you take that chance." Because taking the best player doesn't guarantee that player is going to win a championship. It's not like the guy's a bust. He's not Michael Olowokandi. You have a chance to win a championship with the best player in every sport. When you get that player, it goes to football. The Giants are in a situation where if they have the top 3 pick again, like they did this year, they're probably going to think about taking a quarterback this time around, right? I mean, because you got to take the best player that gives you a shot. And if that best player turns out to be an MVP, you're not looking back and saying, is the juice worth the squeeze? Yes, the juice is worth the squeeze. Michael Jordan, 8 years. LeBron James, 8 years. Kevin Durant, I mean, he had to move teams. I mean, you don't just roll in and win championships. Like, in all sports, the journey is tough, and the juice is worth the squeeze, whether you win the championship sometimes with that guy or not. But that guy puts you in position to be one of the best teams year after year. That doesn't guarantee you're getting it done, though. Yeah. No. Right. Well, and it's, John, it's like we act like there's 10 Patrick Mahomes available to you that you could just go after every year. We act like there's 10 LeBron James every year that you could just, like that, at your disposal. No, there's one LeBron James. There's one Patrick Mahomes. So when you get a guy like Joel Embiid, you have one of the few that could possibly take a LeBron James down in his, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's only so many guys in any league that are good enough to be the best player on the best team. Yep. And even him, being historically great, did not win a championship until about 8 years in. What was it, 8 years, 9 years? Yeah. All right, John McMullen, Eagles obviously getting ready for a Bengals team they haven't defeated in like 25 years almost. They've tied them a few times. But first, the NFL, I don't know what I'm more excited about, the trade deadline or the end of political ad season. They're on the same day. The NFL trade deadline is the get off the For You tab. Get off the For You tab, right? I have no Myles Garrett questions for you, but I do have the trade deadline is the November the 5th. And, you do hear a lot of Eagles because of Howie Roseman. So do you foresee them having to make a trade? Yeah, Myles Garrett, I think, is out of the picture. But what about a edge rusher? Is that a spot where they've done the Robert Quinn, they've done the Kevin Byard last year. Those were two guys that I think they thought were going to be key additions that didn't work out for them. Yeah, I mean, you've seen this team go out that way. But when you look at this roster, as they're 2 weeks away from that deadline, would you prognosticate in your mind that, they're going to need edge rushers, or no, you know what? They're happy with what they have now. And is there an area where you would think Howie, everybody keeps tying to their wide receivers for some reason. That one keeps coming out of Yeah. How much, John, do you think that teams internally take into account the level of opponent when you're trying to decipher that? Like, hey, because you just said it, they should be able to get to Joe Burrow. Yeah, because their offensive line, they're using like the a right guard is playing left tackle. I mean, potentially. So, yeah, you would be disappointed if they can't. But how excited can you get when that's the reason? I mean, because you might get 5 seconds at the Bengals, but you're saying, but we're not good enough to get 5. Not that you expect to get 5 against a Detroit or a San Francisco, but how much can they feel good about their pass rush in the games that they're getting rush in? Yeah. All right, John McMullen, Birds 365, Sports Illustrated covers the Eagles, of course, talking Birds and Bengals here. The offensive line is a problem for them. One area where they're very good, wide receiver, Chase, T. Higgins, Gesicki is the tight end there. How is this Eagles secondary in your mind kind of matched up there? You got Quinion, the young kid. You got Darius Slay, the old gray beard. Now that we're in week 8, how has this secondary kind of come together in your mind? Because it was a problem last year. Yeah. Well, Kirk Cousins pretty much lit you up. Mayfield lit you up. Is this one of those games where you see Burrow's just picking you apart, bang, bang, 1, 2, 3, out, here you go, and just having, he's a high completion guy. And is this one of those games where for 2 weeks you feel good about the defense, and then on Monday morning you're like, I was just starting to feel good about this defense? Yeah, that's a scary proposition. We'll see it all unfold this Sunday, 1 o'clock on 97.3 ESPN. The Eagles and the Bengals. Joe Burrow, of course, is the quarterback against Jalen Hurts. They played one time. That was in college. LSU bombed Oklahoma. Burrow got the better of Hurts in that game there. This will be the first meeting. They were in the same draft class. People forget that. Yes, it should be a interesting offensive matchup. Both teams, great receivers. I know Wednesday on Birds 365, we kind of, we're throwing around A.J. Brown or Jamar Chase. I don't know who you go there. I kind of like Chase, but Brown, they're both awesome, and they both have really good number 2 receivers. So this is a matchup that's filled with great skill players. Tyreek Hill says he's back. You could put him in your fantasy lineups again. All right, we'll get more tomorrow on this matchup. We'll take a look at the final injury report and more as the Eagles and the Bengals. That's good news. All right. Good stuff. And, of course, we'll get more on this matchup tomorrow with John McMullen here on the Sports Bash. All right, John. Appreciate it, bud. He's brought to you by Boardwalk Honda. Shop their lineup of new pre-owned and certified pre-owned Hondas online at boardwalkhonda.com. Got the Sultans of Swing playing in the background
a great
here.
Song.
Well, it makes you think about the Phillies and the World Series starting tomorrow night. We'll have World Series Game 1 after Sixers-Raptors on 97.3 ESPN. I'm Mike Gill. Coming up, we'll talk a little bit about the Sixers situation in the NBA. It's off the ground. It's early in the season. Is this a big deal? We'll ask Keith Smith, who covers the league nationally, SpotTrack.com. The Celtics off to a blistering start. Is it the Celtics league and everyone just kind of hanging out in it? We'll ask him that. Is the Eastern Conference actually deeper than the Western Conference this year? All that and more with Keith Smith next here on the Sports Bash Live on 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City and streaming live video on the X platform and YouTube at Mike Gill Show. Use the hashtag SBLive.
It's the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
And I am the voice of the voiceless.
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
Hey, it's Mike Gill. The Nizam's Indian Restaurant on Route 40 in Egg Harbor Township is ready to serve you delicious Indian dishes. NJ.com ranked them as the #2 best restaurant in all of New Jersey. And this just in. It's their Eagles football special. Your table receives free tandoori, spicy chicken wings if the Eagles win for dine-in customers only. Join them for a special lunch buffet, Fridays through Sundays from 11:30 to 3 p.m. Visit thenizams.com for more information.
Get your holidays started with the perfect tree in your perfect style from the Home Depot. Whether you want something that you can assemble in a few clicks, steal the show with over 2,000 color-changing bulbs, or a tree with lights that can be controlled by remote or foot pedal. The Home Depot has it all in our huge assortment of premium trees. Plus, get free delivery on over 2 million items this holiday from the Home Depot. Subject to availability. See homedepot.com/delivery for details.
It's common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code SUPPORT or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off. Roundhouseprovisions.com, code SUPPORT.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You could be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text SUPPORT to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
The following is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways with the purpose of soliciting sales of vacation ownership. For complete details, please visit fvgradio.com. If you want a 100% complimentary stay in Cancun at a luxury resort, then Family Vacation Getaways is your ticket to paradise. We're giving away 5 days and 4 night stays to the first 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. Do you know it? Call now 800-951-6541. 800-951-6541. You may also be eligible for an exciting bonus vacation in Orlando, Florida for just $398. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your stay up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and you get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation in Orlando for just $398. What are you waiting for? Call 800-951-6541. Again, 800-951-6541 and give us your answer. The proceeding is not a contest or sweepstakes and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways and not sponsored by or affiliated with this station or program.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire, or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-630-9723 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. Call 800-564-9170 now. 800-564-9170. That's 800-564-9170. What do you have to lose? Call 800-564-9170. Again, 800-564-9170.
Are you working out, eating healthy, and doing all the right things and still struggling to lose weight? Don't get frustrated. Get answers. You could be having difficulty because of your metabolism. Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach, revealing how your diet and lifestyle fit into the bigger picture of how your body burns carbs and fat, allowing you to develop a game plan and see results. Go to lumen.me right now for 30% off. With just one breath, Lumen offers insight into what's happening with your body and promotes optimal metabolic health for easier weight management, improved energy levels, and better fitness results. Go to lumen.me today and get 30% off. Plus, listeners can get an additional 15% off by using promo code RADIO55. That's promo code RADIO55 at lumen.me to get an additional 15% off your first purchase today. LUMEN.ME, promo code RADIO55.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey.
You're listening to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Never thought this radio stunt would catch on so big.
On 97.3 ESPN.
All right, welcome back. Sports Bash live today from Chickies and Pete's in Atlantic City. Don't forget those A.J. Brown Sweet Heat Wings. They're right here. Also, the Jason Kelsey meal, garage beer, the whole nine. You can get that all at this Chickies and Pete's here in Atlantic City. I'm Mike Gill. This hour is brought to you by Broadleaf's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Your trusted source for heating, plumbing, service, and installation for generations. 609-390-3907. Online, Broadleaf's.net. All right. You know NBA season is back when Keith Smith is here. Keith Smith covers the NBA, Spottrack.com, and, of course, right here as the season is underway. Sixers lose to the Bucks last night in the opener, and that has sparked a lot of controversy in these parts, Keith. The NBA is investigating the Sixers. Do you look at this story from afar and kind of laugh? Do you look at this story and say, no, something needs to be done? How do you think this has been handled, and how big of a deal is this? Yeah, I mean, the answer that Nick Nurse gave the other day, he was asked a question, and he's like, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, so it seems that there's a disconnect somewhere. They're saying he didn't re-injure himself, but he's not ready to play, but he played in the Olympics. Does it seem that someone's lying here, or he just isn't ready, and they're just being extra cautious with him? No. Well, and you just said it. How much is this, as you cover the league from afar there, and you're looking at Philadelphia saying, look, this is a constant problem with them in their messaging. That's the issue. Their lack of transparency isn't just on this. It's almost everything they do. So does anything in your mind come of this? I mean, it's just they said, yeah, he's not playing opener Friday, Sunday. I mean, and then, of course, the fans would say, well, what makes him not ready the first three games, but he's ready the fourth game? Yeah, no doubt about it. Joel Embiid out, Paul George out. What's left with the Sixers, quite frankly, watching Boston the other night, does it even matter? Is this Boston's league and everyone's just kind of playing in it? Yeah, and then we saw the Knicks. I'd like to get your thoughts on them. I mean, obviously, they made all these moves. They obviously tried to upgrade the talent on the team. But by upgrading the talent, did they create another problem with the chemistry and the toughness of that team? All right, Keith Smith, SpotTrack.com covers the NBA. I know it's early. Do you look at this Eastern Conference as a deeper, better conference than the West this year? All right, so but we saw Boston, we got New York. You see what Philadelphia has done here. You and I have been talking for years. Philly's always that team. Yeah, they can do it, and then of course they don't. And it always seems to be something, the injuries or this or that. Bizarre things happen. But a Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, and then all the complimentary parts. One of their problems in the past has been they've been very star-centric, and then the roster drops off. Is this a deep enough roster to compete in the East at the level that you need to be in a series with a Boston Celtic team and have a legitimate shot? All right, Keith Smith, you got a whole bunch of storylines into this NBA season. Some people say, is this a compelling season? What are some of the stories that you enjoy about this new season starting? All right, Keith Smith's back. Another season of the NBA. It all started this Tuesday night. The Sixers played Wednesday. They're back tomorrow against the Raptors. And you can hear that game right here on 97.3 ESPN. No Joel Embiid. Not sure about Paul George. We haven't heard about him yet, but we'll see when George is ready to go. And obviously, Keith will catch up with him throughout this NBA season. All right, buddy, good to have you back. As always, Keith Smith. Check out SpotTrack.com for all the NBA coverage at Keith Smith NBA on the X platform. I'm Mike Gill. On the X platform, you can watch the show live on YouTube at Mike Gill Show. Subscribe. Use the hashtag SBLive to find us. This hour is brought to you by Broadlee's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, your trusted source for heating, plumbing service, installation. Call them at 609-390-3907. Online at Broadlees.net. Coming up, we got football at 4 in about 15 minutes from now. Geoff Mosher will be today's football at 4, filling in for Andrew DeCecco. We'll talk a little bit more about Eagles and Bengals. We had a Bengals fan text in. He said, guys, don't worry about the Bengals defense. They're terrible. They won't stop the run. He already put money on the Eagles.
Wow.
So he thinks the Bengals got no shot. We'll see what Mosher thinks about those comments. Coming up in 15 minutes on the Sports Bash. We're live at Chickies and Pete's here at the Tropicana in Atlantic City. And I'll tell you, got the games going. You got all the games right now. You got Thursday Night Football tonight. You got the college football. You got the World Series tomorrow. You got the Sixers tomorrow. Saturday, you got 1 o'clock Flyers. You got college football all day. And, of course, the Eagles. Great spot to watch all the games. It's right here at Chickies and Pete's in Atlantic City. I'm Mike Gill, and this is the Sports Bash on 97.3 ESPN.
The World Series on ESPN Radio.
This is the greatest October rivalry in baseball history.
It's a star-studded showdown between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Yankees. It all begins with Game 1 in Los Angeles. Game 1 of the Yankees and Dodgers.
Listen to the World Series Game 1 tomorrow night on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins after Sixers basketball.
Brought to you by Shore Physicians Group. Be well connected. Visit shorephysiciansgroup.com.
It's the time of year for killer deals. You've had your eye on some hot new wheels. We want to pay off your loan or lease and tell your old car to rust in peace.
Visit Matt Black Kia today. Buried in a loan or lease, Matt Black Kia wants to get you released and treat yourself to $0, 0 payments until next year, even 0% after 72 months on every clearly marked new Matt Black Kia in stock. You won't need a costume to get a brand new Matt Black Kia Forte LXS under 20 grand. That's right, a brand new Kia, just $19,999 with any trade. That's less than most used vehicles.
It's gotta be a Matt Black Kia.
With approved credit 24 EV9 and 6, $13.88 per thousand. Not all will qualify. Credit may affect down payments. Offers can't be combined. Go to MattBlackKiaNJ.com for complete details or 888-505-6670. Price includes all costs to be paid by consumer except for licensing, registration, and taxes. Through KMF. Rebate and incentives to deal. Expires 10/31/24. Matt Black Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township, and on Route 37 in Toms River.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh cracked American cheese, bacon. And the second bite is like fresh cracked American cheese, bacon. You get the idea. And now get yours with $1 any size soft drink. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
Get your holidays started with the perfect tree in your perfect style from the Home Depot. Whether you want something that you can assemble in a few clicks, steal the show with over 2,000 color-changing bulbs, or a tree with lights that can be controlled by remote or foot pedal. The Home Depot has it all in our huge assortment of premium trees. Plus, get free delivery on over 2 million items this holiday from the Home Depot. Subject to availability, see homedepot.com/delivery for details.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
I've always gotten tons of UTIs. Cranberry products never worked for me, and I was desperate for a way to be proactive. I'm Jenna Ryan, CEO and founder of Eucora. We've worked with doctors to develop effective urinary tract health products. Just mix a packet of Eucora with water and drink it when you need support, like right after intimacy. Eucora is helping over 100,000 women stay healthy. Ready to join them? Get 30% off at eucora.com/radio. That's UQORA.com/radio.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire, or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-630-9723 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. Call 800-564-9170 now. 800-564-9170. That's 800-564-9170. What do you have to lose? Call 800-564-9170. Again, 800-564-9170.
97.3 ESPN has teamed up with Seize the Deal for incredible weekly offers from some fantastic local restaurants. Here's this week's big deal.
Get a $50 gift card, good for use, at Doyle's Poorhouse in Tuckerton for just $25.
Get this great deal starting Friday at 9 a.m. at seizethedeal.com. Hurry, chances are this deal will sell quickly. For more info on this great deal, go to seizethedeal.com.
Seize the deal. You're listening to The Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
All right, 3:52 Sports Bash. Did you see Kyle Schwarber's going to be in action this weekend?
I did see that.
Kyle Schwarber is going to be the guest picker, Josh, on game day.
Yes, he is.
He's a Indiana Hoosier alum.
Undefeated Indiana.
Yeah, they're who are they playing this weekend? Washington.
Washington. Not a very good football team right now.
So that's the game they picked to go to?
Well, I think they picked Indiana because they're undefeated. That's why.
You got Notre Dame Navy this weekend, right?
Yep.
Navy's undefeated.
They don't care.
I mean, come on. You ever been to Annapolis? You've been there, Pete.
Yeah.
That place is great.
Great town.
I mean, it's a great stadium. It's a great setting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the game you got to go to if you're ESPN, right?
Well, that's what I would go to, but no one asked me.
You know what? They're thinking that this could be Lee Corso's swan song. He's going to announce his retirement
today, tomorrow, Saturday
at Indiana.
Well, what's the connection?
He used to coach at
He
Indiana.
used to coach there.
He did?
Yeah.
I remember him at Florida State. I guess was that before Florida State?
I'll pull up his coaching record real quick.
But yeah, I mean that's what they're thinking, that this could be.
Wow.
Lee Corso's.
You believe it's time?
It's beyond time.
Yeah.
He was at Indiana from 73 to 82.
Yes, it's a little before my time. I don't remember him at Indiana.
You weren't born yet, Mike.
72 to what? 82 I was born. I was 5, but I don't remember watching Indiana college football.
73 to 82. He actually won a bowl game.
Can you give me a Indiana football player?
Oh, my goodness. There was a wide receiver who played for the Steelers.
I got one guy.
He used to be a quarterback at Indiana. They turned him into a wide receiver. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Antoine Randall.
Yes, him.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a good pull.
That is a great pull. I can't name it.
Yeah. I got Vaughn Dunbar.
That's a deep cut.
Yeah, that's a deep cut. I remember him because he used to have like the fake, like the you know how some of the guys wear like the plastic over the eyes.
Oh yeah.
And his was like a mirrored one.
Oof.
He looked badass. was like, man, that guy looks badass. Vaughn Dunbar.
That was from side B. That was a deep cut, man.
Little deep cut on the Indiana Hoosier football program there. Yeah, so if you want to watch Kyle Schwarber in action, he won't be in the World Series on Saturday.
Yeah, he should be in the cage. He should be in the batting. He should be in the cage.
Well, maybe they got one on campus there.
Maybe they do.
That's where he played, by the way. That's why they picked him to do it. So Kyle Schwarber Saturday. Sports Bash is live today at Chickies and Pete's. We got football at 4. Mosher is next.
It's Sixers basketball tomorrow night on 97.3 ESPN with the voice of the Sixers, Tom McGinnis, calling all the exciting play-by-play action.
Maxey for 3, outside left, bullseye. He puts it in. A crossover dribble on McBride, and he pours in a triple.
It's Sixers Raptor tomorrow night. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. It's Sixers basketball all season long on South Jersey's radio home for Philadelphia 76ers basketball. 97.3 ESPN.
Ad paid for by RFA cancellation. Attention timeshare owners. If you need to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, please listen to the following message. Getting out of a timeshare commitment is not easy, and it takes time. But we specialize in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares forever. Can't get the vacation dates that work for you? Maybe you felt taken advantage of or forced into the timeshare? Maybe you just can't continue to shoulder those monthly payments any longer. If you need to eliminate your timeshare commitment, then you need to take down this number, 800-290-1569. We will safely and legally get rid of your timeshare payments forever, all with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't continue to let your timeshare be a financial burden to you and your loved ones. Call us now at 800-290-1569. The call is free. The consultation is free. Call 800-290-1569. That's 800-290-1569. Again, 800-290-1569.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good? Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good? Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Keep your business connected with Comcast Business Internet and Wi-Fi backup, or get started with reliable internet for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call or go online today. Ends 11/17/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change.
A new era of chicken is here to stay, and it's not your parents' poultry. The Cantina Chicken menu from Taco Bell is slow roasted and perfectly seasoned. Take it tacoed up in a crispy white corn tortilla with cheese inside and out, or wrapped in a burrito with fresh purple cabbage and freshly prepared pico de gallo. However you like it, you'll never chicken the same way again. Get yours today at your nearest Taco Bell and join rewards to earn free food. Available at participating stores. Rewards points are earned on qualifying purchases. All items while supplies last. Subject to terms.
Shop Macy's lowest prices of the fall today. For the season's best prices on what you need now. Save 40 to 60% on new styles to get you ready for cooler temps. Like cozy coats for your crew, the perfect sweaters for layering, and more fall wardrobe updates. Plus, don't miss amazing specials for you and your home. So good, they won't last. At Macy's.
Common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code SUPPORT or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off. Roundhouseprovisions.com, code SUPPORT.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You could be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text SUPPORT to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $200 in bonus bets when they bet $5. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bet. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. Terms and conditions apply.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles, Sixers, and Flyers. 97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Billville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey. 97.3 ESPN presents The Sports Bash with Mike Gill. It's time for Football at 4, powered by the Inside the Birds podcast.
Just hungry to bring back another Lombardi to Philly. The fans deserve it. Our team deserves it. Culture begs for it.
Now live, this is Football at 4.
Football at 4 is powered by the Inside the Birds podcast. It's brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. At Bet365, Geoff Mosher from the Inside the Birds podcast is here as we take a look at the Eagles, Bengals, and everything else that's happening around this team in this, very important game. They've won 3 straight. The Bengals have. The Eagles have won 2 straight. And everybody keeps asking the question whether or not the Eagles feel like they've turned a corner a little bit. And one thing is you're playing a Bengals team that everybody seems to fear, Geoff Mosher, because the quarterback and the 2 receivers that they have. But the rest of this Bengals team, is this a Bengals team that people should legitimately fear when you look at the rest of the story, not just the high-end guys, the quarterback and the 2 receivers? Yeah, this is a team that obviously had high expectations the last couple of years. Injuries have kind of derailed them, much like the Eagles have going on right now. And one of the things the Eagles are looking forward to, I think, is getting some continuity on offense, Mosh. We've talked so much about their offense. But in your mind, how much is simply getting some continuity in the offense going to help them kind of push forward? And because they scored 28 points last week, but it doesn't feel like a team, as we talked about yesterday, that had this high-flying offense. But how much of that could be continuity and helping them kind of, have that trajectory start pointing upwards a little bit more? Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you led us down that road about what this offense can be. Jalen Hurts, top 5 in QBR completion percentage when he's inside the pocket. The problem is outside the pocket, he is 18% of his drop packs, he goes outside the pocket, and he really struggles with his accuracy there. I guess the question really is that something that's sustainable? Can you be a guy that can only operate in the pocket? Top 5. Well, real quick on that, I want to get, because yesterday there was somebody who texted in and said, I want to get your thoughts on this. And you talk to guys like Greg Cosell and you watch a lot of tape. Some people texted in saying, Hurts is not an accurate thrower. And I'm like, it's not his accuracy that seemingly is the problem. Right. And these numbers say that. It is, and it's like this is a guy that you would think, hey, you could do some rollouts and get him moving and get him kind of throwing that direct, on the run. And it just seems odd that that's something, and that he has really struggled with. We talked yesterday about the RPO and how teams have maybe kind of taken that away from him, and you wonder, like, is that what's limiting this offense? Is, man, he's become a limited. He has limited the play caller's ability to call plays and expand the playbook more. Oh, absolutely. And look, when you come into this season before the season starts, I think everybody's looking at the team and saying, hey, this is a high-powered offense. You have Brown, you have Smith, you have Goddard, you have Barkley, and you have this offensive line. And for us to be asking all these questions and now coming to say, you got all these guys, who is holding you back? Well, it could be the guy that made $250 million is the problem. I can't believe in the 8th week of the season that's what we're discussing. Yeah. Yeah, I was going to ask you about the matchup up front with Hendrickson, obviously, as the main guy. We had a guy text in earlier. He said, I'm a Bengals fan. He said, don't be worried about this game. We can't stop the run. Last week we saw the Eagles go for 250 yards on the ground almost. Is this, hey, second verse, same as the first? Follow that blueprint until someone stops you? Yeah. Yeah, and, you're right. I mean, big picture, you can't run the ball and throw the ball 14 times and expect to win a championship. But it's a week-to-week league. Can you expect to do it and try to win a week? No, no. All right, let's. One of the matchups I'm interested to get your take on is the Eagles' 13 sacks. We talked about that with Vic Fangio mentioning yesterday. But my question for you more is they got 13 sacks, and he kind of acknowledged, well, Daniel Jones holds the ball on. If they get to the quarterback again this week, this is another bad offensive line. The trade deadline's coming up. Do they look at themselves and say, you know what, I think we've turned the corner at getting to the quarterback? Or do they also internally acknowledge we've done it against lesser offensive line competition? Is that something that is managed in the discussions? Yeah, I was going to say, 2 years ago they got Quinn. Last year they got Byard. So they have gone the veteran route, trying to get somebody there. If they were to try to do – now, you mentioned the Jay Ajayi trade. What deal is that this year where you're like, man, they don't need that, but they went out and got it anyway? And listen, you answered that, and you keep hearing their name tied to, Cooper Kupp's available. I heard DeAndre Hopkins before he got traded. A couple other guys at wide receiver. You keep thinking, really, they really have room for another wide receiver. They already gave up a third-round pick to get one who's not. I mean, is Dotson not a part? Now, I know you were one of the people that questioned, that gave up a third-round pick and said, I don't know about that. Is it he doesn't – is it that he's not any good, or there's just not enough opportunities in this offense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Some people have suggested that, hey, he's open, he's just not getting the ball. True. All right, Geoff Mosher, Football at 4 from the Inside the Birds podcast. The matchup this week that I want to get your take on is Eagles secondary rookie Mitchell, Graybeard, big play Slay, and, of course, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. They got good guys there who, obviously trying to figure out what to do with Jamar Chase is tough. But do the Eagles feel that their secondary is where they wanted it to be when they kind of remade it last year? Yeah. Yeah, I look at Burrow with these receivers and just fear like one of those Kirk Cousins games where he's just bang, 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 Baker Mayfield, bang, bang, and it's just high completion percentage. We were laughing earlier. The over-under for completion percentage, like 85% in this game, the way the teams sometimes go after the Eagles, the way they play defense. Yeah, they tied him twice. Yeah. All right, we'll have him right here on the Sports Bash. Geoff Mosher will be back on Monday. Game's at Cincinnati, and, of course, you can listen to the game right here on 97.3 ESPN, the coverage at noon. Merrill Reese, Mike Quick with the call at 1 o'clock. That's today's Football at 4. Geoff Mosher, take care, buddy. All right, Football at 4 brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. This hour of the show brought to you by Jersey Cal. You know, it's been beautiful out. The weather's been outstanding. It's a great time to go out and eat ice cream. And if you're going to do the ice cream, go to Jersey Cal. They got 2 locations on the mainland in Northfield and on the island in Brigantine. They're open every day from noon to 10. Ice cream is a year-round thing at Jersey Cal. When we come back, it's another edition of Nick's Nuggets. Nick Earnshaw is here. We'll get his take of the day on all the things that are happening. I'm sure a little Sixer thought, I don't know, could be a little Flyers. They've lost, 6 in a row now all of a sudden after an opening night win to start the season. So we got all that. By the way, text message came in and said the Notre Dame-Navy game is actually in East Rutherford in Jersey.
The Meadowlands, right.
Not Annapolis. You can go there for game day. Not as good, though.
Nah. Not as good.
Go to Giant Stadium for college game day?
Yeah, it doesn't work.
All right. Good pull by that listener out there. Thank you, sir. When we come back, Nick's Nuggets are here. Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City, and streaming live video on the X platform and YouTube. At Mike Gill Show, use the hashtag SBLive.
Wake up weekday mornings from 6 to 10 a.m. with Unsportsmanlike on 97.3 ESPN with Evan Cohen, Super Bowl champion Chris Canty, and Michelle Small. Can't wake up without it. Brought to you by the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Don't get left in the dark. Calvi Electric, a certified Generac dealer, has you covered. From installation to maintenance, they're your go-to experts for Generac generators, ensuring your home stays powered through any storm. A Generac home standby generator will automatically restore power to your home during an outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Put your trust in Calvi Electric, the premier electrical contractor serving South Jersey for over 115 years. Visit calvielectric.com today or call 609-345-0151.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
O'Reilly. Need a little help? O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. Need advice? We've got advice. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Exceptional customer service. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Ad paid for by RFA cancellation. Attention timeshare owners. If you need to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, please listen to the following message. Getting out of a timeshare commitment is not easy, and it takes time. But we specialize in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares forever. Can't get the vacation dates that work for you? Maybe you felt taken advantage of or forced into the timeshare? Maybe you just can't continue to shoulder those monthly payments any longer. If you need to eliminate your timeshare commitment, then you need to take down this number, 800-290-1569. We will safely and legally get rid of your timeshare payments forever, all with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't continue to let your timeshare be a financial burden to you and your loved ones. Call us now at 800-290-1569. The call is free. The consultation is free. Call 800-290-1569. That's 800-290-1569. Again, 800-290-1569.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Are you working out, eating healthy, doing all the right things, but still not seeing the right result? Well, it could all be down to your metabolism. But now, there's a way of understanding how your nutrition and lifestyle fit into the bigger picture. Learn how your body shifts from burning carbs to burning fat for energy with Lumen. Go to lumen.me right now for 30% off. Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach. It takes just a single breath first thing in the morning, and Lumen immediately analyzes your metabolism, telling you if you're burning fat or carbs, and gives you tailored guidance to improve nutrition, workouts, sleep, and stress management. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. Get something tailored to your body's needs with Lumen. Go to lumen.me today and get 30% off. Plus, listeners can get an additional 15% off by using promo code Radio50. That's promo code Radio50 at lumen.me to get an additional 15% off your first purchase today. LUMEN.ME, promo code Radio50.
This is the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network.
Progressive Insurance presents the Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN. NHL, the Flyers hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves on Saturday and looking to snap a 6-game losing skid. Wednesday, they fell to Washington and D.C. 6-3, dropping back-to-back games to the Capitals. Flyers trailed 4-0 before scoring in the second period. NBA, the Sixers will be in Toronto Friday night facing the Raptors, start of a 2-game trip that includes a stop in Indiana to meet the Pacers on Sunday. The Sixers opened up the season Wednesday night, a 124-109 loss to the Milwaukee Bucks. Tyrese Maxey with 25 points. Philadelphia played without center Joel Embiid and forward Paul George. Both will be out for Friday's game with the Raptors. Eagles on the road Sunday as they take on Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Philadelphia has won back-to-back games. They are 4-3. The Bengals started the season 0-3, but have won 3 of their last 4. Week 8 in the NFL starts tonight. Thursday Night Football as the LA Rams host the Minnesota Vikings. I'm Tony Desiri, and that's your Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN.
New Jersey might be small, but there's a lot of wow packed into this little state. We got your down at the beach wows, your top of the mountain wows, your show-stopping wows, your cork-popping wows. New Jersey, it's one wow after another after another. Find your wow at visitnj.org. New Jersey, little state, lot of wow.
From the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dan Zarrow. New Jersey's driest calendar month on record rolls right along with clear skies, calmer winds, and chilly temperatures tonight. Our low falls to around 43. Could be some 30s and patchy frost in the Pinelands overnight. Tomorrow, sunny and seasonable. Nice October day, high 65. Maybe a sprinkle early Saturday, then windy with clearing skies, high 68, 58 Sunday. Get weather 24/7 wherever you are. Download our free mobile app today.
97.3 ESPN has teamed up with Seize the Deal for incredible weekly offers from some fantastic local restaurants. Here's this week's big deal.
Get a $50 gift card, good for use, at Doyle's Poorhouse in Tuckerton for just $25.
Get this great deal starting Friday at 9 a.m. at seizethedeal.com. Hurry, chances are this deal will sell quickly. For more info on this great deal, go to seizethedeal.com. Seize the deal.
You're listening to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
When I'm driving, I got a guy on the radio who talks to me. I can't see him, but he talks to me.
On 97.3 ESPN.
All right, just about 4:30 on a Thursday edition of the Sports Bash. We're live at Chickies and Pete's. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Gill. Got to give a shout-out to Anthony in Avalon. He texts in a lot. He stopped in here from Avalon to say hello. He was hanging out with his beautiful wife. They're coming out and hanging out. Big fan and appreciate him.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, he always texts in Anthony. I like when people text in, and they have like their sign, like Anthony Avalon, BC, Bowers Beach, Cole, LBI.
Now you can put a face to his name. His
yeah,
number.
Then you got cowards who don't leave their names, like Mr. 305.
Pitbull.
Terry and Galloway. I like to have a beer with Terry and Galloway one time. No, that guy says I've hung out with him before.
I don't think you remember that.
I do remember where we were, but that was a lot of years ago. So I got to stop turning around when I talk to him. The camera's in front of me here. There's Nick Earnshaw. It's another edition of Nick's Nuggets here on the Sports Pass Live, 97.3 ESPN, and he joins us now. Well, all right, let's get today's Nuggets. I'm really intrigued by what the Nuggets could be today. You got NFL, you got Sixers, you got Flyers, you got World Series. This is the nexus of the universe, of the sports world. Everything crisscrossing all right now. What do you got?
Everything's crisscrossing, applesauce, and it's a great day to be on the Nuggets. But I got to start. I got a breaking news nugget for Mike and Pete today. I got that's what I got. Chris Haynes. So we all know what's going on with the Sixers or investigating Joel Embiid with the injury, right? According to Chris Haynes, former Los Angeles Clippers trainer Randy Shelton is suing the franchise for wrongful termination, among other things, after he claims he was fired after complaining that Kawhi Leonard was being subjected to unsafe and illegal treatment for injury. So they're investigating the Sixers while all this is going on out there in LA. They got the new stadium. You saw Bomber going nuts last night in their brand new Intuit Dome or whatever it's called, $70 parking. And this bombshell comes out that they could have been doing some illegal things for Kawhi Leonard, who's also been known to be very injury prone, has had a lot of issues over the past couple years. But I'm just saying, they're all worried about the Sixers, and this is going on the West Coast, Mike. Instant reaction.
I did see that Chris Haynes tweet, and I'm just thinking to myself, well, and we talked about the Clippers earlier. They at least came out and said he's out indefinitely, and that kind of puts that to rest. He's out indefinitely, okay? I think if the Sixers said, look, Joel Embiid's not ready, he's out indefinitely, the problem is they keep saying he doesn't have any injury. Different from what's going on with – we know. See, listen, the Clipper – now, what is the claim here again?
That they were that they were complaining that Kawhi – he was complaining the trainer that used to be for the Clippers was complaining that Kawhi Leonard was being subjected to unsafe and illegal treatment. So they were doing illegal stuff, illegal substances?
Yeah,
like, what does that mean? What's the language there?
Yeah,
he's a whistleblower.
I'm thinking to myself, what kind of illegal stuff could you do to try to fix the guy's knee? I mean,
I don't know.
Horse tranquilizers or something?
Did they try it with Joel Embiid? I don't know. Maybe that's why they're investigating. They knew this was going on in L.A. They tried it here. I'm just kidding. But
this was going to be my take on this. Kawhi Leonard has had this knee problem going back to San Antonio. So this isn't new news. He had the problem in San Antonio. It followed him to Toronto, and now he's had the issue with the Clippers. So to put the Clippers, now he's saying, the doctor, I guess, or the trainer is saying that they were trying to do illegal stuff to get him back and ready, I guess. I mean, I can't even conjure up what that could be.
Yeah, I don't know what it could be. I mean, that's just coming out today that there's a lawsuit going on, and this is all going on, happening in real time. Haynes just reported this not too long ago, like minutes ago, that this came out from Chris Haynes. I did see the
tweet during the commercial break. I did see the post by Haynes talking about what happened, and I didn't really get a chance to read it. I was talking to my friend Anthony in Avalon here.
Yeah.
But I guess, I'm watching the game last night a little bit. I mean, that stadium's unbelievable.
Unreal.
It's $70 to park at that place.
Yes.
$70 to park at that place.
It was $2 billion to build.
Yeah. Hey, listen, the Sixers are getting investigated for Joel Embiid not playing last night. I would imagine the Clippers, there's going to be something going on here.
Yeah, there was a statement put out, Chris Haynes, from the Clippers. They're essentially denying the whole thing. Shocker there, but yeah, they're saying that there was illegal stuff going on with the Kawhi Leonard injury. So you have on both coasts teams that might be doing something wrong with their injured superstars. It's pretty crazy, but that comes out just a couple of minutes ago, and it makes you wonder, like, is there anything going to come out with the Sixers? I just think the Sixers are inept and they don't know how to message properly. And with Joel Embiid, I mean, they could have done this, and you're right. They could have just said he's out indefinitely. He's still hurt. He's still recovering. I guess they didn't want a bad reaction from the fan base because of the whole Olympics thing. Like this whole situation with Embiid, you don't do it a couple of days before the opening game at the home opener. It was brutal.
I think the messaging was poor. The timing was poor.
Yeah, I think it totally was. Totally was with the Sixers. So multiple investigations going on. We start off nugget number 1 with a little breaking news nugget. Now let's go to nugget number 2. They opened the season last night, Mike, and I was there. I went up in my nosebleeds like normal, up in Nicky nosebleeds as usual. Had to open the season like that. I'll tell you what, that was the most dead crowd I've ever attended a Sixers game, ever. Not including the process Sixers, but during this era, I should say, from going all these nosebleed games, it was horrible.
It's funny you say that, because I was driving home last night, and I listened to McGinnis, and he was saying how great the atmosphere was. Great atmosphere, opening night, high energy in here.
Yeah.
No?
It was kind of dead. I'm not, especially later in the game, it got really poor. I mean, they were trying everything they could. Walking into the stadium, I mean, not a lot of buzz. Like going to the playoff games and anything like that, when they're really in it and Embiid's playing, there's more of a buzz around the stadium. For a home opener, I don't know.
Let me ask you this: how was the reception for Doc Rivers when he got in?
Oh, he got booed. He got booed instantly. He was booed instantly, Pete. Doc Rivers was booed. I may have taken part. I may have taken part in the booing of Doc Rivers. I may have taken part in that. But yeah, I gotta say, the crowd was not per usual. It was a little more somber.
I always wonder about this, especially, this is a team that has had its problems. They can't get out of the second round. And now you tell the fans the day before the season starts that the 2 guys they paid to see are not going to be there. I mean, what are you expecting, really?
Yeah, I mean, it felt like that. It felt like there was, like, everyone was going in, oh, yeah, it's the opener. We're just going, kind of heading to the Sixers game, just going to have a good time, not necessarily into the game. Like, the buzz around the stadium, it just was not there.
To be fair, there was nothing. They were never in that game. I mean, they were down the whole game. I mean,
the whole game.
Realistically, I think Maxey hit a 3 and put them up 3-2, and I don't know if they had another lead the rest of the game.
Yeah, it was brutal. That third quarter was absolutely brutal. Dame Lillard went off. I think him and Giannis combined for 55 points. So there was that. But there were some positives from last night's game. And listen, they looked like a team missing their 2 stars. You plug in Joel Embiid, you plug in Paul George, this is a pretty solid roster. You look at Caleb Martin coming off the bench, gave you a lot of energy. As soon as he entered the game, got a nice ovation from the crowd, and he gave you energy. He was flying all over the place. He was diving for balls. Yabusele, he was also a surprise to me a little bit. I know he played really well in the Olympics, but he came here. That's another guy I'm interested to see what kind of run he gets during the season as well, coming off the bench. But they look deeper than they have been in a while.
Listen,
and if you have George and Embiid, it makes that roster much better.
It is, that's the problem right now with
Yep.
I said, every game you play without Joel Embiid is wasted. It's a wasted game because he's the only player of his kind in the entire league. When another star player goes out, I'm not saying that you get a guy who's as good, but you can get a guy who does something similar. Like, Kevin Durant goes out, okay, I get a guy that shoots a mid-range, blah, blah, blah. Nobody does what Joel Embiid does. So to try to play without him, it's a complete, it's like I say all the time. You get kids that play in tournaments in like a baseball where they don't have bat restrictions. So you are now wasting basically those 4 at-bats that you hit in a game with an illegal bat are wasted at-bats because you can't hit with those bats in real regulation baseball games. They're completely wasted at-bats, and it's giving you a false sense of what kind of hitter you are. It's the same as the Sixers playing without Embiid. It's a waste of 48 minutes because you can't replicate what Joel Embiid brings to a team. Other teams can say, okay, we don't have Kawhi Leonard tonight. The guy we have is not as good as Kawhi Leonard, but he at least has some of the same skill sets. He likes to do some of the same things. Nobody else in the league does what Embiid does. So when you play without him, it's like a complete waste of time. It's like, you know what? We'd rather almost not play the game because these are wasted repetitions for us.
Yeah, it's essentially a scheduled loss, as formerly Doc Rivers would put it.
It's
a scheduled loss. It's almost a scheduled loss.
When you play Portland in January, that shouldn't be a scheduled loss.
See, I don't think it's a scheduled
or
loss.
Washington.
It's not a scheduled loss with the talent they have now. It's just a game they're going to have to play in a way that they're not going to play when Joel Embiid plays. Like, Andre Drummond doesn't do the same things as Joel Embiid. Gershon Yabusele doesn't do the same things as Joel Embiid does. So you're playing a guy and in a game that doesn't do what you normally do in a regular game. So now you got to change the style that you play because he's not there.
They can still beat a lot of the teams in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, they're good enough with – that's
enough.
the difference between this team and last year's team. When Embiid got hurt last year, they were a disaster. Now they have a capable backup center. The problem is they're just a different team, so they're going to win in a different way. But other than the backup center, they have much more depth around the team so that they're not so dependent. Last year, it was all Maxey when Embiid was out, and he's just not capable. That's why they weren't very good. When Maxey was out, that's all they had. Now, at least, you have other guys who have been veteran NBA players. Eric Gordon has been in the playoffs. Reggie Jackson, who didn't get off the bench last night, he's been in the playoffs. Kyle Lowry has won a championship. Kelly Oubre. You have guys that can at least help you win a NBA game that you didn't really have last year.
Yeah, I mean, they're more capable this year. They have a deeper roster. It's a deeper roster than they've had in a while. They have wily veterans on this team who can hit big shots. Lowry can hit a shot. Oubre looked decent last night. It's always the Kelly Oubre experience. He can turn the ball over, do something crazy, then make a big basket. Like that's what you're going to get out of Kelly Oubre. But they have guys that they could keep them afloat for a while when those guys are out. But you're totally right. The style of play is different when Drummond's in there. Drummond's not this type of point guard center with Joel Embiid. Embiid could do everything on the court, essentially, and Drummond's going to be down there and getting rebounds. They were getting a lot of offensive rebounds, more so than you saw last year. That was a plus from last night, and they were fighting for the ball. Guys like Caleb Martin being in there. Hopefully, KJ Martin gives you a little bit more. But they seemed more into it, and they were scrapping for balls like the Knicks were in the postseason last year. So this is a different team this year than you saw last year, but they need the stars. They need Paul George. They need Joel Embiid if this team wants to go to the distance. Yeah, and it's not going to happen. They're going to play. Embiid's going to play like 60 games.
This is no hot take. They're not winning without Joel Embiid.
No.
Okay? I mean, period, point blank. They're not winning without Joel Embiid. And guess what? They have no shot to win a title unless those two guys are, number one, healthy, and number two, play together. You can't just throw those guys out in the court for 15 games and say, hey, let's go try to play the Celtics. Not going to work. So this season it's tough because you got to keep Embiid healthy. And by keeping him healthy, you're limiting him playing. But to be the best version of yourself, you have to play and play together. And that's where the rub comes for me. They're in a catch-22. They got to keep him healthy, but at the same time, they're trying to keep him healthy by not playing him. But the best way to be your best version is to play. This whole notion of sitting guys out and resting guys, I said, maybe you can help. Because no one's given me an answer yet other than Kawhi Leonard with the Raptors. A team that load managed a player and it helped them win a championship.
In the past couple of years, I mean, you haven't seen it. I mean, but
I don't forget the past couple of years, ever.
Ever. I mean, load managing is more of a new thing. Everyone wanted to play every night back in the day, right? You wanted to play every night. The new athlete, you're load managing. You don't want to get hurt. The whole thing, you're essentially load managing the All-Star game too. I mean, that's another load managing game where players aren't trying at all. Like the regular season, that's why the regular season has become kind of obsolete at this point because everyone just kind of wants to get to the postseason. It's tough because Embiid is such a talented player and he would play every night. But like Stephen A. Smith said this on First Take the other day. What injury hasn't this guy had? He just always gets hurt and they're going to have to load manage to get him to the finish line in April if he wants to even play during April because he's been hurt every year. That's the problem. But he's going to have to play like 60 games if they want to have a complete team and have a little bit of chemistry heading into the postseason.
Yeah, that's the problem. The catch-22 is you need him healthy, and to have him healthy, you're trying to limit his game time. But if you're limiting his game time, you're basically saying I got no shot. I mean, to me, without them playing together, that Celtic team, what makes them so good? Number one, they're talented. Number two, this group of guys has played together for 3-4 years. I mean, this Tatum-Brown combination, Derek White's been there now for a couple of years. You know, this is a group of guys who have played so much ball together, and you constantly keep changing your lineup over, and now you have a team that you think's competitive enough, and you're saying, well, we can't play you because we need you healthy. I mean, so it's a terrible situation that they're in.
Yeah, I mean they've had the roster turnover has been crazy. I mean they tried the same thing when they got Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris. They kind of threw it together. That core didn't play a ton together. They got pretty far, got to Game 7, lost on the Kawhi shot, but that was like one of their best chances, right? But these guys, they just had these players have not played together as much, like the Bostons of the world, like the Denvers of the world. Like these teams have been together for a while. The Milwaukee's of the world, for the most part, when they won a title, they played together forever. Like all of these teams had many, many players part of their core that were all together. That was the whole idea with Simmons and Embiid. That was supposed to be your core, and it just did not work out.
Well, listen, they have to figure out, like they're saying, we've got to do something different with him. They're doing something different. I'll give them credit for that, but I don't think it's going to work.
I don't know if it will either. We'll see how it shakes out. All right, nugget number 3. We got to talk a little baseball. Mike, I don't know if you saw Kyle Schwarber's back in the news a little bit. He's going to be the guest picker on College Game Day this Saturday. He played at Indiana, so it's Indiana versus Washington. That's where they're going. They're going to the Hoosiers this weekend. Played at Indiana in 2012 through 2014, had 40 home runs, 180 games, did the Phillies leadoff hitter. So he's going to be the College Game Day guest picker this week to end the show. Pretty cool, pretty interesting pick by College Game Day. Now, it got me thinking. It got the juices flowing. Mike Gill and Pete G. Who is the best out of all the Philly sports athletes right now that are currently playing? Who would be the best broadcaster when they retire? Because Kyle Schwarber, I don't know if he'd be a great broadcaster. We know Jason Kelsey is doing some stuff with Monday Night Football, but right now, right this second, who would be the next person to be a broadcaster?
Great question. Yeah, Schwarber's a little monotone for me.
Yeah.
A little bit dry. I don't know that he's my pick. I don't know that the Phillies have a guy. I mean, their team is a pretty dry bunch of guys, right? Anybody on the Phillies personality that, Castellanos is a weird dude.
Cassie's a little quirky.
Yeah, they don't really have that. I mean, maybe Brandon Marsh, but let's see. Go in there. Maxie's full of life. I mean, he's a guy that's, very very high energy. He might be a decent pick there. I haven't seen enough of Paul George. He does do his own podcast. Maybe that's something that he gets into. I thought Richard Jefferson, by the way, did a nice job on the game.
I didn't really like him.
No?
No, I just don't like that trio.
Oh, come on.
They're lost. they're lost. They're like the Sixers trying to mishmash these new people trying to mix
Well, Jefferson's a little bit more fun. He's a little bit more high energy. I mean, so let's see. I'm trying to think. Eagles.
BG. He talks a lot.
He does, but
he's got a lot to say, that guy.
Yeah, but he's one of those guys that almost feels like everything's so positive. You can never get like an objective, explanation. I feel like.
What about Saquon Barkley?
Yeah, Saquon's a pretty well-spoken guy. I could see possibly him being, and he probably would look good in a suit too, right?
Yeah, he rang the bell last night. He rang the bell last night, by the way.
Anymore. Did he? He was the bell ringer last night?
He was the bell ringer. He got a massive ovation. Massive ovation.
He had the biggest ovation of the night. That's never a good thing.
Yeah, it was the loudest the whole entire building got last night when Saquon rang the bell.
Now, Schwarber is the highest drafted player in the history of the Indiana Hoosiers baseball program. He is a 2-time All-American catcher, by the way.
Yes.
He was a catcher in college. He was the 4th overall pick in the 2014 Major League Baseball draft by the Chicago Cubs. And, he's going back to be the guest picker there. Now, I don't – that's a great question. I don't know who would be the guy that would be
Well, they had Harper in the booth. Remember when Harper was hurt? Didn't they have him in the booth for the entire game?
Not an entire game. They might have had him in there for
a few innings at least. I can't remember. I remember he was in the booth for an extended period of time, though. So I don't know. I don't know if Harper's that type of guy to be an analyst. I don't know if I see that.
I mean, Torts was great on TV before he got the Flyers job.
He was good.
He was good.
Player, though. We got to go player.
Player, yeah.
Stumped you there.
I don't know that there's one that stands out as a great, possible broadcasting as your next career thing. Jason Kelsey was always kind of a guy. Although I don't know that I love Kelsey on. Do you guys love Kelsey on Monday Night Football?
I mean, I've kind of had my Kelsey fix. So
I was saying from the get-go, I don't think that that's the right role for him.
No.
Putting him in a suit, putting him on a desk, and having him kind of be like a serious kind of breaking down stuff. To me, the best role would have been like a Fox NFL Sunday or a CBS or even ESPN.
He should do college.
No, I think what ESPN should have done is like for Sunday NFL Countdown or even Monday Night Football, okay? We signed Jason Kelce. He's going to be a part of the Monday Night Football, but he's going out to every tailgate in the league and trying to find – we're going to go out to Kelce in the tailgate lot. Let's see where he's at. All right, we're here in Kansas City, and they got barbecue ribs, and this is awesome. Like, that's what they should have used.
Yeah.
So you liked Kelce Monday Night Football with Atlanta when he was on the stage, dressed up, giving belly bumps to that
well, I think
guy.
I think they went a little too far.
You believe they went too far with
in
that
the
one?
Philly game? I think they went a little
too
far.
much.
But I think they could go week to week with like, hey, Monday Night Football is coming to Buffalo, and Jason Kelce's coming to the tailgate to check it out, and every place is trying to do this great tailgate party to get Kelce to come visit their tailgate. Like, to me, that would have been the best way to use him, not as a guy sitting in a suit on the desk in the studio in Bristol.
I'll give you guys somebody you didn't mention. What about Jordan Mailata? I could see him being a Michael Strahan type guy post-career. He's a cultured individual. He's well-spoken. I mean, the guy got to go to the White House, for goodness sake, and sing for these people. I mean, that guy could be like, a variety show guy.
See, I think with Mailata, he's going to be a singer, Josh, not a broadcaster. He's got a singing career.
Christmas albums coming out again.
Yeah, he's got a singing career after his career's done. I think
variety show. I'm saying a variety show. Like Michael Strahan does Good Morning America, right?
Yeah, he could.
The problem with that is, and I don't know, is he's Australian, and would that resonate as like a football? Like, I don't know how much football background he has. I mean, he was one of these guys that had to teach how to play the game. Is he a guy that can go in and break down, plays?
He was really good at talking ball with Chris Long on his podcast, so.
All right.
He's well spoken. He's good.
Yeah.
He's got good energy. He could be the guy. Is a network going to take a shot and put him in a booth? Maybe. We'll see.
They put Tom Brady in. They put the GOAT in. So we'll see. We'll see. They can put anybody in there.
I don't know that you're putting a left tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles in there.
We'll see. I will say. I think Barkley would be the guy. I think Barkley's the guy.
All right, they're the Nuggets today. Sports Bash Live. See you, Nuggets.
All right, I'll see you guys.
Pay up, Earnshaw.
I will.
Earnshaw was sick. He's sick. I didn't need him at my house. Feeling sick.
Okay.
All right.
Well, then next week.
Yeah. All right. Coming up, Casey Joyner, One Thought Every Game, is here on the Sports Bash Live on 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. Streaming live video on the X platform and YouTube at Mike Gill Show. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit us up on the X platform, hit the like button, hit the repost button, and we'll talk to you in the 5 o'clock hour with Casey Joyner with One Thought every game on the Sports Bash.
This is South Jersey's official home for Philadelphia Eagles football. The Eagles continue the 2024 season this Sunday in Cincinnati against the Bengals.
Let's go, and it is caught into the touchdown. A.J. Brown.
When there's a question, go to A.J. Brown.
Listen to all the action with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick with pregame coverage starting at noon and kickoff at 1 p.m. This is the play-by-play home of the Philadelphia Eagles. 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's Eagles station.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, the official sports bar of your Philadelphia Eagles, celebrating football season with special new menu items. The Kelce Combo, created by number 62 himself, a handcrafted barbecue burger, world-famous crab fries, and an ice-cold garage beer. Our incredible jumbo soft pretzel, Chicky style, with a heaping skillet of our own in-house crab dip, and our delectable sweet heat wings, where a portion of the proceeds go to the A.J. Brown Foundation. Participating locations for a limited time. Chickies and Pete's. Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, the official sports bar of your Philadelphia Eagles. Our new menu includes our boneless wing special every Monday. Buy a single order of our mouth-watering boneless wings and get a snack order of boneless wings free. Every Tuesday and Wednesday, it's buy one, get one free snows. Buy any number of delectable snow crab legs and get the same amount free. Plus the Kelsey combo, tasty buffalo fried shrimp, seafood pasta in our famous Sicilian or red salts. Participating locations for a limited time. Chickies and Pete's.
When you're hiring, ZipRecruiter's technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. What if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
Equals 42.
And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Tune in to the Bet365 Play of the Day during the Sports Bash with me, Mike Gill, every weekday afternoon at 5:45 on 97.3 ESPN. Made possible by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Get your holidays started with the perfect tree in your perfect style from the Home Depot. Whether you want something that you can assemble in a few clicks, steal the show with over 2,000 color-changing bulbs, or a tree with lights that can be controlled by remote or foot pedal. The Home Depot has it all in our huge assortment of premium trees. Plus, get free delivery on over 2 million items this holiday from the Home Depot. Subject to availability, see homedepot.com/delivery for details.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Switch for Power Mop! Switch for Power Mop!
The time of year for killer deals. You've had your eye on some hot new wheels. We want to pay off your loan or lease and tell your old car to rust in peace.
Take to Matt Black Kia today. Buried in a loan or lease? Matt Black Kia wants to get you released and treat yourself to 0 down, 0 payments until next year. Even 0% after 72 months on every clearly marked new Matt Black Kia in stock. You won't need a costume to get a brand new Matt Black Kia Forte LXS under 20 grand. That's right, a brand new Kia, just $19,999 with any trade. That's less than most used vehicles.
It's gotta be a Matt Black Kia.
Bulletproof 24 EV9 and 6, $1388 per thousand. Not all will qualify. Credit may affect down payment. Offers can be combined. Go to mattblackkia.nj.com for complete details or 888-505-6670. Price includes all costs to be paid by consumer except for licensing, registration, and taxes. Through KMF. Rebate and incentives to deal. Expires 10/31/24. Matt Black Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike. Egg Harbor Township. And on Route 37 in Toms River.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Go to get your game on at the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Get in on the parlay while in the middle of a party. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go to the Gallery. Go to the Fanatic Sportsbook. Go for the win at Ocean Casino Resort. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflush.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe and then it spread. and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
Okay, everyone, what did you think of the chocolate bar?
It's too chewy.
Feels kind of chalky.
Too much nougat.
I need to go brush my teeth.
Business is booming for Steph's small marketing research firm.
After all these focus groups, there's only one conclusion. I need more researchers.
And she's way too busy researching
Does this have peanuts?
to waste time researching resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Home of the Sports Bash with Mike Gill, 97.3 ESPN.
Ooh, that's good.
WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City. This is the Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. Now live from inside the Ocean Casino Resort Studio, here's Mike Gill.
All right, final hour of the show, live here at Chickies and Pete's in Atlantic City. You know it's the football season. You know it's the basketball season. You know it's the hockey season and the World Series Friday night. College football, you can watch all the games here at Chickies and Pete's in Atlantic City. It's a great spot. By the way, place has been pretty crowded all day long. They got a little event going on or something over here. A lot of people hanging out. Tonight, you got Thursday Night Football. Minnesota taking on the Rams. We'll do one thought. Every game with Casey Joyner, he's brought to you by Elite Acura. Score incredible savings all month long at Elite Acura. Route 73 in Maple Shade, online, eliteacura.com. All right, let's get the Elite Insight from Casey Joyner from The Athletic as he joins us now on the Sports Bash Live on 97.3 ESPN. Casey, I'm told you need to unmute your mic, and then you will be ready to go as you'll see him live on the X platform and on YouTube at Mike Gill Show. All right, he's ready to go, and he's with us now on the Sports Bash. What's up, buddy?
Hey, just having a fun time. Looking forward to what should be a fun game tonight. But also, this is a great slate of games this weekend. A lot of, I think it's like 4 games between teams with winning records. I mean, this has got there's more than a few things to sink our teeth into.
Yeah, and tonight's interesting. Just got a little wrinkle in the game we'll get to, but Puka Nacua activated tonight. He will play in the game, it looks like, so we'll get to that game in a minute. But let's dive sink our teeth into Eagles-Bengals and get your thoughts on some of the matchups here. I'm looking at Jamar Chase, 6 receiving touchdowns in 5 games, the most in a 5-game span. He's already tied the mark for a 6-game span in his career. I mean, this guy is the dominant receiver in the league for my liking anyway. Eagles secondary, what do you like about this secondary, and how do they match up with Chase and obviously Higgins? And then you got to throw in Gesicki, the tight end, who's a very good pass catcher.
Well, the past 4 games, I measured things on a 4-week basis. Of the past 4 weeks, Mitchell's allowed 6.1 yards per target, Slay 5.1, C.J. Gardner-Johnson 5.1, Cooper DeJean 4.4. Those are really good numbers. If you're anything below 6 in that category, 6 below in that category, you're considered, if not a shutdown quarterback, you're an unfavorable target. And even the guys who have higher numbers, Blankenship and Maddox, 7.4 and 7.3 respectively, you're not talking, there aren't great targets there in the secondary for the Bengals to go after. So it's one of those things where I don't think you're going to, Chase is doing great. T. Higgins are doing fantastic as well. But the Bengals kind of struggled passing the ball last week against Cleveland. I have a feeling they're going to have, I wouldn't say struggle, but I have a feeling they're not going to have, this is going to be one of their peak games because Philadelphia is just playing pretty solid defense right now.
Yeah, their secondary a lot different, obviously, than last year, where we were talking a lot about them getting beat with James Bradbury. They got Quinyon Mitchell. They added Cooper DeJean in there, and getting, of course, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, give them a little bit of a playmaker on the back end. Reed Blankenship has been a guy who's picked off some passes. By the way, T. Higgins, 3 straight games with 75 yards or more. So I would imagine, Casey, that they're going to try to throw the ball. But if they want to run the ball, it's Chad Brown, their offensive line against the Eagles' pass rush. Let's look at that first, because the Eagles have 13 sacks over the last 2 weeks. Should they be able to do more of the same against this Cincinnati front?
Yeah, Cincinnati over the past 4 weeks, 10 sacks allowed, 44 pressures allowed. They're 10th in pass pressure rate ranking that for that span, but they're 22nd in sacks allowed. So we watch a lot of Bengals ball here because my son is a Burrow fan, so we get to trust me. Their offensive line is not. Joey's got to get rid of the ball pretty quick because this is not a team that you can't have them sit back and throw the ball deep a lot because they just have inconsistencies in their offensive line. So I'm liking what I'm seeing there. The Eagles, by the way, same weeks 4 through 7 ranking, 15 sacks, 13.2 sack rate, third in the league. 35% pass pressure rate, 17th in the league. So they get more sacks than they do pass rush pressure, but again, if I'm the Bengals, I don't want Burrow trying to throw the ball 35, 40 times in this matchup because the secondary is playing well. The pass pocket isn't quite so good. I mean, you want to get your passes to Higgins and Chase, but this is not a game where I think they can go Burrow centric. They've got to run the ball more, which really is not their strong suit.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting because you mentioned the fact Burrow, their line's not great, but he gets the ball out fast. His completion percentage about 70%. So that's something I look at when the Eagles played Baker Mayfield. The way they just 1, 2, 3, bang. Is that what similar situation here? Hey, you're going to have to figure out a way to tackle Chase. We'll get him the ball in space, tackle Higgins, and let those guys make plays. Is that what their offense looks like?
Yeah, especially because one of the things that stands out for the Eagles of late is when you're talking vertical passes. If you don't, dink and dunk, hey, that's what we can do to augment the running game. That's where they get some of the running game from. But if you say, hey, you guys go vertical. Over the last 4 weeks, the Eagles ranked us by fantasy points per game because it's a good barometer. They're 11th in fantasy points per game allowed on vertical passes. Only 11 completions, 26 attempts, 204 yards, only 7.8 yards per attempt. That's really good. Only 1 touchdown. I mean, it's the Eagles have not been allowing vertical throws, and I know that some of it's been the competition, but it's one of those things where the Bengals haven't been doing fantastic at vertical throws either. So I have a feeling again it's going to be Eagles defense is going to be Bengals. You're going to have to make if you want to score touchdowns. It's 10-play drives. You're not getting big plays against us. And if they do that, I mean, if the Bengals try that approach and such, but a lot of times when they get down to the red zone, they don't tend to fare as well. So I think that's the percentage move for the Eagles.
All right, let's look at the Eagles offense and where they can get success in this game. They can run the ball, obviously. They've been struggling in the pass game. What's the recipe against this Bengal defense? Hendrickson, obviously, is the key guy over there. He'll probably be lined up against Fred Johnson. But when you look at the Eagles offense and what they do well, should they be able to have success? I had a guy text in. He was a Bengals fan, said, Mike, don't worry. They can't stop the run.
They haven't been able to stop the run until they got the defensive linemen back. A couple weeks ago, they got some of the defensive tackles back. They were out. And once they've gotten them back, they've been very good against the run the past couple weeks. The person that the Bengals need to worry most about is a guy named Cam Taylor-Britt, one of their cornerbacks. So the past 4 weeks, 33 targets. That's a huge amount of targets in a 4-week span. 22 completions, 66, two-third completion rate, 288 yards allowed, 13.1 yards per completion, 8.7 yards per target, 3 touchdowns, 124.3 passer rating. I mean, this guy, he's a coverage weakness, and it's one of those things where it looks like A.J. Brown probably goes up against him, but I don't care if it's Brown or Smith. Whoever it is, hey, you're going to have to throw a lot of passes to him because teams have been throwing a lot of passes to him, and he hasn't been stopping them, so it doesn't matter what the Bengals secondary is doing. They're leaving Taylor-Britt an island, and he's getting beaten. That's one thing. The Eagles, they need to be sending 12 targets his way.
I'd like to see, some more targets. They threw the ball 14 times last week. It's funny. This is a market, Casey, on a Monday where the team's fans base will say, you got to run the ball more, run the ball more. Well, they ran the ball more. They only threw 14 times. Is that a recipe for long-term success?
I'd like to see them keep running the ball, but the thing is you've got a matchup like this one. And again, Cincinnati over the past 4 games, they're 21st in rush points per game allowed on planned rushing plays. So you can run the ball against them. They've been better of late, and you still want to run the ball for the Eagles. I think they need to be run team first and the pass team second. But when you've got that sort of a matchup there, and again, Stone, the safety for the Bengals, I mean, it looks like it's a shin bruise. They thought, he came off on an air cast to figure he might be out for a while, but only a shin bruise. If he does play, is he going to be 100%? If he doesn't play, you get a backup in there. That's another situation where the Eagles can go that way. This is a matchup. Oh, by the way, The other thing you need to go after, tight ends. Over the last 4 games, the Bengals ranked dead last in tight end coverage, 29 out of 36 for 296 yards, 8.2 yards per attempt, 4 touchdowns. I think the Eagles need to throw to their tight ends, and they need to throw at Cam Taylor. But this is a game where they kind of need to go more passive than they did last week.
All right, maybe a little Grant Calcaterra game. It looks like Dallas Goedert will be out. All right, Casey Joyner from The Athletic. One thought every game here. We go Vikings and Rams. Minnesota 5-1 this year. They're looking to start 6-1 for the 5th time since 2000. The Rams are 2-4, last in the NFC West, but they're getting some passing weapons back. This Rams team going to be a totally different outfit tonight.
They are. It's going to be a big plus for them. The thing is that the Vikings have, do they want to go shootout route? Because you've got Justin Jefferson, you've got Jordan Addison, who's got a fantastic matchup against Darius Williams. You've got some really good matchups. You've got back to another matchup. They might get Hawkinson back too. If I'm the Rams, yeah, you want to get your offense going, but I don't know that you want to get in a shootout mode. And I think the Vikings can turn it into shootout mode. And given the way the Rams defense has played, and the Vikings defense has been a very big play centric defense. They give us a big plays, but they make some too. I'll take the Vikings.
All right, likes the Vikings in that one. One thought every game. Casey Joyner from The Athletic here. Let's go to Ravens-Browns. Ravens 5 straight wins. They started 0-2, and now a lot of people think this could be the best team in the league. Deshaun Watson done for the year. He got that Achilles. It's going to be Jameis Winston starting for Cleveland. This is a playoff team last year.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where they're playing good defense. I got a feel for Nick Chubb. He comes back after all this time, and then look what happens to their quarterback situation. You have to feel for the Browns, too, in the sense that, hey, Chubb comes back. Maybe it helps turn their season around. Yeah, no, it's not happening. The Ravens offense, though, they can drop back pass. They've got Henry. They can run the ball as much as they want. They're getting better by the week on offense. I mean, this has the makings of blowout. I'm taking the Ravens big.
All right, likes the Ravens big in that one. Let's go to this one. Should be kind of interesting game here. Cardinals playing the Dolphins. The Dolphins 11.7 points per game, which is worst in the NFL. But when Tua plays, they average 26.8, which is probably one of the best in the league. Cardinals had a nice win last week. Cardinals-Dolphins could be an interesting game all of a sudden.
It's a tough one to pick because is Tua, how rusty is he? I mean, is he going to come back and beat Tua like he was in week 1, or is he? What's he going to be? Is he going to be at full strength? Good news for the Dolphins is they've got the Cardinals' rush defense has been terrible this year, so they can run the ball and give a lot to Achane and Mostert. They can really go that route. I think they're going to get a good amount going through the air. And hey, Kyler Murray. He was the worst vertical passer in 2022 and 2023 on a fantasy points per game basis. He had a good start for a while there, and now he's just done awful. He can't go vertical. So if the Dolphins can get that ground game going and get some vertical passes, I don't think Arizona can match. I'll take Dolphins.
All right, that one. What did Tyreek Hill say to the fantasy owners this week? Get me back in your lineup. I should be good to go. All right, one thought every game. Jets and Patriots. Jets have lost 4 straight since they beat the Patriots back in week 3. The Jets have not swept New England since 2000. Bill Belichick's first year as head coach with the Patriots. Is this the year the Jets take 2 from New England?
New England's rush defense is terrible. I mean, you've got your coach calling the team soft, and when Belichick is coming to that team's defense, it's like, okay, that's I wonder what the inside story is on that. But they are terrible. Their run defense has been atrocious this year. They've got 2 green-rated cornerbacks, so you're covering Adams and Wilson with green-rated quarterbacks. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is throwing too many interceptions, but when you've got that favorable matchup where Hall and Wilson and Adams all have green-rated matchups, and you're trying to beat that with the Patriots offense, I'll take the Jets big.
All right, one thought every game, Falcons and Bucks. It's the winner of this game has a 65% chance to win the division. The loser, less than 30. That tells me it's a pretty big game on Sunday.
It is, and the Bucks, again, you have to feel for them. I mean, you lose both your receivers. Now you're trying to go into this match. I mean, you're trying to win with Sterling Shepard and Trey Palmer and Jalen McMullen. That's a tough thing to do when you're going up against Bijan Robinson, Mooney, and London. The thing is also the Bucks cornerbacks have just been atrocious this year. In fact, if you take their 3 cornerbacks, I got them all rated as green rated quarterbacks, and Jordan Whitehead, their tight end, is green rated also against passes too. So I think Atlanta can easily get to 30. I think Tampa is going to have trouble getting to 20.
All right, one thought every game. Let's go to this one. Packers and Jaguars. Jags have lost 6 straight games when they're the underdog. They're 0-3 against teams that have a winning record. They've lost their 5 straight games with teams with a winning record. Well, this is not good news for Jacksonville. Green Bay not only has a winning record, they're 5-2.
They are, and they've done it even though they're still their passing game. It's they keep switching to different receivers. They're so deep receiver they don't have to funnel it to a particular receiver. But Jordan Love's making throwing touchdown passes look easy. And I've got Darby and Campbell and Johnson and Cisco, 4 of the 5 Jacksonville secondary players, all listed as Green Native players. I think Love could throw 4 touchdown passes in this game. So even though it's a Jacksonville road trip, and that's always a tough matchup for teams because it's just a terrible place to go, I'll take the Packers.
All right, one thought every game, Colts and Texans. Texans have won 2 straight in this matchup. Both those games in Indianapolis. They only won 3 straight against the Colts one time. You're going back almost 10 years ago. But is this the year the Texans make it 3 straight against Indy?
I feel for Indy because I understand you've got you've got Anthony Richardson. He's your first round pick. You want to play him. You want to get this is your future guy. He looks atrocious. I mean, forget it from a fantasy perspective, which he's making anybody, even Michael Pittman's a bench guy in that one. They're just they don't have an offense going. And Taylor, does he play? Doesn't he play? Is he at full strength? I don't know. But Mixon's going up against a Green Raider rush defense, and I think Houston's going to want to get their passing game back in gear after a really bad week last week by CJ Stroud. So I'm going to take the Texans in this one.
All right, one thought every game. Let's go to the Saints and the Chargers. The Saints looking to – this is interesting. They're looking to avoid to become the 6th team in the Super Bowl era to lose 6 games in a row after starting 2-0. Now, they have some reasons why they are. They got some big-time injuries. But this Chargers defense, this is not the defense to play when you're missing key guys on offense.
No, it isn't. And mind you, the Chargers last week only kicked field goals, and they lost the game. But Herbert throws for over 300 yards. This week, you've got J.K. Dobbins, who had a bad week going up against a Green Bay rush defense. The Saints have been just shaking. A lot of bad rush defenses in the league right now. And Dobbins, you don't want to face a Harbaugh team when that's the case. And I still just can't. Kamara's hurt. You're talking Rattler. You're talking just the people that he has to go to and such. I just don't think the Saints can put up enough offense. I'll take the Chargers.
All right, one thought. Every game, Bills and Seahawks. Josh Allen, 12 touchdowns, no interceptions. Geno Smith, almost 2,000 yards passing this year. That's the 3rd most through 7 games in the history of the Seahawks. So, 2 top-level quarterbacks. Who gets the better?
Well, this is the toughest game of the week maybe to call because you got Cooper. Okay, Cooper gets an offense. He puts Coleman and Shakir where they need to be in as far as that goes from a pass. From a passing perspective, puts those guys where they should be. Kincaid's got a really good matchup. Cook's got a really good run defense matchup. But I mean, you're looking at Walker. If he's out with an illness yesterday, I haven't seen his report today, so I imagine he's going to be able to play. But assuming he can play, you've got Lockett, you've got Metcalf, Smith and Jigba, you've got all those guys. I just see this being a shootout game. So it's one of those games where, because it's going to be a shootout and it's going to be a real close game. I think it might be a field goal. I'm going to take the home team because of that, because that's the tiebreaker.
All right, one thought every game. Panthers and Broncos. Denver 4-1 in their last 5 games after starting the season 0-2. This would be their best start through 7 games since 2016. It doesn't seem like it's that long that Denver was somewhat relevant. But if they win this game, all of a sudden their record puts them in playoff conversation. And I don't know that this feels like a playoff team.
5th in sack rate allowed over the past 4 weeks. 4th in sack rate. 6th in rush points per game. They've got really good pass coverage metrics. This is a defense that's playing really well in a lot of ways. They don't, in fact, even where they're not playing really well, they have good metrics. You've got Bo Nix playing a lot better. They're finding things for him to do, and you got Javonte Williams versus the Green Bay defense. And Carolina, by the way, now they're going to Young's out, or they get Young back because Dalton's out and such. It's just like that team regret. They got a couple of weeks there where they got, we got better because we got a quarterback. They've regressed to being the worst team in the league, and they're arguably the worst defense in the league. So I got to take Denver.
All right, one thought every game. This was supposed to be fun. We're not sure if it's going to be fun. It doesn't feel like it is going to be as fun with Jaden Daniels' situation. Bears and Commanders. Commanders lead the NFL with 14 rushing touchdowns this season. Who knew with Jaden Daniels? But the Bears seeking their 3rd straight game with over 30 points. They haven't done that but one time in the last 10 seasons. All of a sudden, 2 fun offenses, the Bears and the Commanders.
Yeah, they do. And it's the Bears. I mean, again, John J. Schwartz has played really well. Fantasy managers are glad to have him in lineups right now. They've got a Green Bay rush defense matchup. The Commanders, though, the thing is their defense has been playing better. Their defense was atrocious earlier this year, or at least pass coverage. I mean, they've got Sam Russell, the St. Jude, so Noah Igbenogany. I mean, they've got some good players back there. So I don't think this goes shootout route. But if I'm looking at going, okay, it doesn't go shootout route, but the Bears have all their players. And again, if you don't have Daniels there, nothing against Mariota, but I just look at that and go, okay, I don't think that team is anywhere near as good when they don't have Jaden Daniels out there. So I got to take Chicago.
All right, one thought every game. Chiefs are playing the Raiders. We know who's favored here. They've been favored since 2012 is the last time the Raiders were favored against the Chiefs. They're seeking to become the 7-0 for the third time in franchise history. It's the 23rd game in a row that Kansas City is favored over L.A., Oakland, and now Vegas.
Can you imagine if Al Davis were alive today? I mean, how bad they were for a while, but my God, he would be losing his mind because this is the old school rivalry game for him. Chiefs, okay, fine. You get DeAndre Hopkins. He should be an improvement for you, but it says how bad your passing game is if he's an improvement for you. But they're going to run Kareem Hunt a lot, and they've got Carson Steele if they need to go for an alternate, but they're going to run the ball a ton. They've got a ceiling on their productivity, but at least they've got that. With the Raiders, it's Madison's playing well, but the Kansas City run defense, the Kansas City run defense right now might be the best in the league. And again, in a league where we've got a bunch of really bad run defenses, they're shutting it down. They shut Madison down, then you're relying on, again, the passing game for the Raiders. I don't like that, so I'll take the Chiefs again.
All right, one thought every game. Let's go to Sunday night. You can listen to this game on 97.3 ESPN. San Francisco leads the all-time series against Dallas. 20 wins, 19 losses, 1 tie. That includes the playoffs. San Francisco's won the last 3 meetings, and if they win, it will be the longest win streak against Dallas since they won 6 straight back in the early 80s. So, San Francisco, do they get that win over Dallas, who's really struggling?
Dallas's run defense, and I go watch some of the tapes and things. I've never seen a more mistake-prone run defense ever. They're just the number. They're just. I mean, it's not just being beat physically. They're just not playing well. Period. They're just like, wow, you guys are making all kinds of errors, all kinds of mistakes across the board. You just would not expect that out of a Zimmer coach team, but. Diggs has terrible pass coverage metrics. Carson is probably going to play right corner. He has terrible pass coverage metrics. They're terrible vertical pass coverage metrics. I mean, the Cowboys have all kinds of those weaknesses, and their offense just isn't that good. I mean, it's Dak and it's CD and it's kind of it. Maybe Ferguson. I mean, they really don't have much else. So I got to take San Francisco even despite the injuries.
All right, let's go to Monday night with the Giants and the Steelers. Daniel Jones is 1-14 as a starting quarterback in prime time, worst of any quarterback since the merger. 0-7 on Monday Night Football. And to add to that, the Steelers have won 21 consecutive home games on Monday Night Football. Sounds like put a nail in the coffin for the Giants.
It sounds like it. And the thing is, I have to admit, I'll definitely admit when I'm wrong. I was wrong when it comes to Russell Wilson. I thought, hey, they're throwing him against the Jets because they think that he might struggle, and then they can say, okay, well, justify benching the guy. He looked fantastic. His fantasy numbers, he was top 5 in short passing points per game, vertical passing points per game, and rushing points per game. I think it was top 10, and there he looked really good. And their offense, by the way, has been top, I believe it's top 8 in points per game over the past 4 weeks. I mean, this is a very good offense to go along with a very good defense. And they've got multiple ways that they could beat the Giants, and the Giants just don't. Again, who do they have? I mean, even last week, it looked like Neighbors was kind of struggling, hitting the rookie wall, and he's got a very tough matchup this week. So I'm taking the Steelers big.
He was open every play. The quarterback just didn't throw him the ball.
That's part of it too. Yeah, I think it's a combination of both. Yeah, but this week I think he's going to have trouble getting open because again, Dante Jackson, his coverage matchup is really good metrics. A red-rated cornerback. So I say Neighbors, you shouldn't start him in fantasy or he's going to get shut down or anything. I just think there's a ceiling for him, and if there's a ceiling for him, there's a ceiling for that whole offense.
All right, listen to the Eagles and Bengals this Sunday at 1 o'clock on 97.3 ESPN. Merrill Reese, Mike Quick call all the action. But before we get to the action, Casey Joyner's key matchup to watch, who wins and why in the Eagles-Bengals game. You know, the Eagles haven't beaten the Bengals in 24 years. They've tied twice, but no wins against Cincinnati.
That is true. If I have to say the one matchup, again, come back to Ken Taylor-Britt, he's just the Eagles don't have a coverage weakness of that caliber. And Taylor Britt is a big weakness. Oh, well, actually, I'll combine two weaknesses. Cam Taylor Britt and covering tight ends. And again, Calcaterra, he's hit some big plays of late. I think he'll get enough big plays. And I think Taylor Britt, if you've got him against either, I don't care if it's Smith or Brown, whoever you line him up against, it's going to be a big problem for you. And if that's the case, then I think the Eagles get the big plays out of that. And it's going to be a close game. I wouldn't take him on more than 3 points, but I would take the Eagles for 3.
Well, the Bengals have played a lot of close games this year, and this is another one, says Casey Joyner. Check him out at The Athletic, and, of course, right here with One Thought every game. He'll be back on Tuesday looking back at all the Week 8 action, One Thought on all Week 8 games. There's the previews. We'll look back at them on Tuesday right here on the Sports Bash Live on 97.3 ESPN. All right, Casey Joyner, good to see you, man.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
All right, there you go. Casey Joyner, One Thought every game from The Athletic. And, of course, if you're watching the show live on the X platform and on YouTube at Mike Gill Show, use the hashtag SB Live. You saw Casey Joyner there and all the graphics up on the screen that give you the stats that we kind of talk about. And the one stat that stood out to me, PG, this is the bet of the week, right? Daniel Jones is 1-14 in primetime games. The Steelers have won 21 straight Monday night home football games. There's no way the Giants are winning that game.
You know what happens when people say that? No way that's happening.
You think this is the week?
What usually happens?
That's when it gets snapped.
Maybe.
I mean, they said that at 19. Then it went to 20.
At some point, the trend's got to buck.
Oh, man, that's an unbelievable stat line. Thanks to Casey Joyner, as always. And he's brought to you by Elite Acura. Score incredible savings all month at Elite Acura. Visit them on Route 73, Maple Shade, online, eliteacura.com. All right, we're at Chickies and Pete's in Atlantic City. Got an early dinner crowd, early bar crowd. And, of course, you got Thursday night football tonight. You've got Sixers tomorrow. You got Flyers on Saturday, the World Series Friday night, Eagles on Sunday. Perfect weekend to get out. By the way, the weekend weather, holy mackerel, if it's as nice as it was the last couple days, I don't know if it's going to be that nice, but it looks like it should be still pretty good. Saturday, 70 degrees. I'm no Dan Zarrow, but I know that's feels like it's pretty good weather. We'll get an update on that. And when we come back, Jeff Nadu has his plays of the week. We got those for you coming up, plus my Bet365 plays of the day. That's all still to come this hour on the Sports Bash on 97.3 ESPN.
You're listening to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 more for you.
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, the official sports bar of your Philadelphia Eagles. Make a selection from our seasonal food menu, then unwind with one of our sensational cocktails. The South Philly Sizzle, made with Bird Gang Habanero Tequila. Stateside pumpkin pie featuring stateside vodka, rum chata, and pumpkin puree. Delicious fiery sangria, tasty spiced apple punch, or the Campfire Mule at participating locations for a limited time. The official sports bar of your Philadelphia Eagles, Chickies and Pete's. Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, the official sports bar of your Philadelphia Eagles. We're teaming up with Eagles wide receiver A.J. Brown for a new wing flavor this football season. A.J. Brown's Sweet Heat Wings. We combine the sweet and spicy flavors AJ loves, plus a portion of the proceeds benefit the AJ Brown Foundation, and it's focused on empowering underprivileged youth. At participating locations for a limited time, the official sports bar of your Philadelphia Eagles, Chickies and Pete's.
Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you, period, securing permits and workers and tools, getting those workers and tools to work together, and finding the perfect pair of overalls. Pockets, baby. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you gotta hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe, and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
Did you know that Wendy's has any size soft drinks for just $1? Yeah, any size, anytime. Like $1 Coke, $1 Sprite, or even $1 strawberry Fanta. Okay, could we maybe switch up the sound effect, please? 'Cause I'm losing it. Wow, no, not that. Any size soft drink for just $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
Halloween's coming alive at Target. Jackie and Gordy, the Jack-O-Lanterns, here with a front porch view of Target's Halloween deals, like Best House on the Block trick-or-treat candy starting at $5.99.
Sweet. Don't forget, can't wait to wear it costumes from $15.
Can't wait to see it. Oh, and decorating and pumpkin carving kits for $5.
That's how I got my big toothy grin.
This week only, trick-or-treat candy starts at $5.99, costumes from $15, and decorating and pumpkin carving kits for $5. Make your Halloween come alive at Target. Restrictions apply.
New Jersey is the Garden State. But did you know that one of the most important things we can farm is wind? Offshore wind provides clean, renewable energy. It creates jobs and drives economic growth. In fact, it's estimated that a single wind farm can create over 4,000 jobs and add more than $700 million to the state's economy. Offshore wind, propelling New Jersey's future. To learn more, visit nj.gov/offshorewind.
This is the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network.
Progressive Insurance presents the Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN. NFL Week 8, Eagles on the road Sunday facing Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Philadelphia coming off back-to-back wins are 4-2. They have the second-best rushing offense in the league. Saquon Barkley third in the NFL in rushing yards. Cincinnati started the season 0-3. They've won 3 of their last 4, but have not beaten a team with a winning record this season. Catch all the action of Eagles-Bengals right here on 97.3 ESPN on Sunday. Sixers back in action Friday night in Toronto to take on the Raptors. It begins a 2-game trip that will include a stop in Indiana to take on the Pacers Sunday. Philadelphia opened up the season Wednesday night, losing to Milwaukee 124-109, a game in which Joel Embiid and Paul George sat out due to injuries, and both will be out for Friday night's game with Toronto. Flyers hosting the Minnesota Wild on Saturday and looking to snap a 6-game losing skid. Wednesday night in D.C., they fell to the Washington Capitals 6-3. I'm Tony Desiri, and that's your Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN.
New Jersey is the Garden State. But did you know that one of the most important things we can farm is wind? Offshore wind provides clean, renewable energy. It creates jobs and drives economic growth. In fact, it's estimated that a single wind farm can create over 4,000 jobs and add more than $700 million to the state's economy. Offshore wind, propelling New Jersey's future. To learn more, visit nj.gov/offshorewind.
From the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dan Zarrow. New Jersey's driest calendar month on record rolls right along with clear skies, calmer winds, and chilly temperatures tonight. Our low falls to around 43. Could be some 30s and patchy frost in the Pinelands overnight. Tomorrow, sunny and seasonable. Nice October day, high 65. Maybe a sprinkle early Saturday, then windy with clearing skies, high 68, 58 Sunday. Get weather 24/7 wherever you are. Download our free mobile app today.
Earn entries for your chance to be one of the lucky winners of a complete his or hers YSL collection now through October 26th. Show your timeless sophistication during the YSL collection drawing. Only at Borgata. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
We have the perfect solution for sitting in traffic. Come with me. The Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, streaming live video on the X platform, at Mike Gill Show, YouTube, at Mike Gill Show. Subscribe and be a part of the show there. All right, everybody's favorite time of the week. Jeff Nadu is here to give us some more plays this week. Couple college games, NFL games in the mix. We are at the nexus of the sports universe, Jeff Nadu. All 4 sports are in play, plus college football. College basketball is going to be here soon. right now it's a busy time, but we're focusing in on a couple of games for this weekend. What's up, my brother? How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me, Mike.
As always, man. I was down in Stone Harbor the other day, total stranger randoms, and the guy started talking to me, and he said, my favorite segment is Jeff's Picks. When is it this week? I said, it's the same time every week, man. 5:30 Thursday night. Let's get the picks out for the people. Make them some more bucks here. We were
Thank you to that guy.
Yeah, we were what were we watching? Oh, Miami last week. Miami-Louisville last week was one of the plays that game was on where we were. We were watching that together saying, let's go, Nadu. Give us another winner here. So let's get a couple winners for the people out there. All right, let's go with one of the games, kind of interesting. Notre Dame Navy. Interesting play. Navy ranked now. Notre Dame 13.5 is the number. Over under 51. Kind of a tricky game here, I think.
Yeah, I think it is. Look, I went kind of a different way than I think a lot of people will. I took the over in this game. Mike, these are two of the best rushing attacks in the country. We know Navy, they're very good from a run standpoint, but they've also incorporated throwing the ball. Both these groups averaging 6 yards a carry, 45 and 35 points a game. When you look at Navy's defense, really haven't played much of anybody yet, haven't really looked real good. I believe they're 85th in run defense, 94th in pass defense. Just not very good. Now they're going to play a Notre Dame defense or Notre Dame offense that's really good, has a good quarterback, and is a top 15 team. I also think on short rest, no bye week here. This is not an easy ask for Notre Dame's defense either. I look at who they've played. I'm not one of these people that generally brings up who people have played, but the truth is neither of these teams has played much of anybody. These groups are both very good in the red zone, 1st and 6th nationally in touchdown percentage. Last year's Notre Dame team dropped 42 on Navy. I think they're probably around that this year. I think the Naval Academy would be much better offensively as well. I had this at like 35-24, 37-28, something like that. I took the over. I don't really understand why the number's coming down. Weather looks good in Annapolis this week. I like the over.
Yeah, I kind of like that play as well. I like the fact that we're on the same page there. Notre Dame, Navy, over 51.5. Let's go to the Big Ten. Michigan State, 4. Michigan -4. 40.5. That's a pretty low college number, but seems apropos here. Where are you going on this one?
Yeah, so one of my premium plays last week was Illinois against Michigan. I just don't understand why Michigan's a favorite right now. I just don't think they're very good. And you look at how bad, Mike, this pass offense is. I mean, it is shocking. I mean, Michigan throwing for just 128 yards a game, 5.5 yards a play. They're just dreadful. I mean, bottom 5 in that metric. They've tried 3 different quarterbacks. None of them have worked. Now you got to play a rival who's off a really nice performance against a good Iowa team. This is a pretty good Michigan State defense, 30th nationally in total defense. This number was 5.5, 6. It's now down to 4 and even 3.5 at some books. I think the sharp indication is Michigan State's the play. Throw in Michigan's 1-6 this year against the spread. I just don't think they should be a favorite to anybody. Throw in that, I mean, the last 2 seasons, Michigan has crushed Michigan State. I think Michigan State has their best team in a couple of years. They have a quality quarterback. They have the edge at quarterback. They also have the edge at coach. Sharon Moore, Michigan's coach, is a complete disaster.
All right, so Michigan State, the play on that one. Yeah, Michigan got Oregon next week, too, so it's going to be a tough spot for them. They got a tough stretch of games here for Michigan, who obviously struggling through this season without Jim Harbaugh. This number kind of stood out a little bit to me. James Madison, Southern Miss. If you just heard that and haven't been paying attention to James Madison, you're thinking, wait, this is a sub-Division I team. Well, they've made the rise. 24.5, though, is a pretty big number for any game. But James Madison, a big favorite against Southern Miss in this one. Over-under 54.5.
Yeah, Mike, you definitely want to pick and choose when you back JMU. They're a tough team week to week. They look really good one week and then look poor the next. That said, I bet them once this year, and it was a 63-7 win against Ball State. I think this could probably be a similar type of game. JMU coming off an outright loss to Georgia Southern last week. Now they're back at home. Southern Miss is awful. I mean, they're giving up 34 points a game, just one of the worst teams in the country. giving up over 6 yards a carry. Just really can't stop anything. Their pass defense isn't much better. This is just a bad team all around. JMU, again, like I said, back at home. They've got a good offense, pass and run. I think the defense bows their head back a little bit. To me, this was like a 48-10 type of game. I'll lay the 24 here with JMU in a bounce back performance.
All right, JMU, the Dukes in this one there. Geoff Nadu at Geoff Nadu. A couple college plays for you there. Over in the Notre Dame Navy game, Michigan State -4. They'll be +4 over Michigan. JMU -24.5 over Southern Miss. All right, NFL obviously kicks back off tonight. You can listen to that right here on 97.3 ESPN. Vikings-Rams, kind of an interesting game with Minnesota. See how they bounce back after their first loss of the season. But got an interesting game this weekend where the Browns, moving on from Deshaun Watson because of the injury, they're going to go to Jameis Winston. Will that jumpstart a team that went to the playoffs last year? And the Ravens are rocking and rolling. Ravens -8.5, over under 44.5. This Browns team is going to be tough to dissect with the new quarterback here. And, by the way, a new play caller.
Yeah, that doesn't look, I'm happy that's happening. I'll be on the Browns here, Mike. This is a great spot to back Cleveland, getting nearly double digits. Look, we have to go with what we know, okay? And the truth is the Browns aren't good, but that was with Deshaun Watson as quarterback. That was with the play caller they had at the helm. Jameis Winston is a significant upgrade. Deshaun Watson's terrible. And look, I know Jameis Winston at times can be turnover prone, but he could throw the football. This is a Raven defense that's really bad against the pass. And this is a Browns defense that's good against the run, only giving up about 4 yards a carry. 6 of the last 7 games in this series have been decided by 10 points or less. Only one game was a blowout, 28-3. Last October, Ravens beat up the Browns. But I think we see a nice little kind of infusion from the Browns here. I think their defense plays a little bit better. I think this is a touchdown spread either way. Give me the Browns +9. I think they hang here and show a little resurgence against a divisional opponent.
All right, yeah, Ravens coming off a big score the other week, 41 points they put up on the Monday Nighter. Short week there. Browns are definitely an interesting play now all of a sudden with the changes. Yeah, I think you're right with the quarterback. This team was a playoff team last year. He was a disaster at quarterback, and Jameis Winston just give them some plays in the offense. That, of course, Ravens, Browns, and, of course, we got the NFL all weekend long. Eagles this weekend against the Bengals. I know NBA's back. Got any NBA thoughts or plays as the NBA's back? You're usually pretty astute in your NBA plays. You kind of pick your spots on those NBAs.
Yeah, I haven't played anything yet. We're recording this on Thursday. I played a game tonight. The thing about me, Mike, it's hard for me to share my plays because I really just run with line moves and that sort of thing. I have the under tonight, 229.5, San Antonio, Dallas. Just struck me as a little high, but I pick and choose.
Yeah, all right, man. Well, we got the college football season. Can you believe how fast we're moving here? Now, let me ask you this. You're a college football guy. Do you think the playoffs are helping or hurting the season?
I think they're helping the season. I'm happy that we have a 12-team playoff now. There's a little bit more onus on. There's a lot of good teams. I don't know if there's one great. I think that sets up for kind of a wild playoffs. Mike, if I ask you who the best team in the country is in college football right now, it really changes from week to week. I mean, 1 week it was Alabama, then they lose to Vandy. 1 week it was Texas, then they lose to Georgia. Georgia lose to Alabama. Now they're the number 1 team. Oregon's look great. You have teams that are just kind of, you look at Vandy this week, Mike, again, getting a big number against a Texas team that really got blown off the ball last week. So, from week to week, it's very interesting. You got the Heisman Trophy changing seemingly every week. So, yeah. And then you have, some of the great stories in like the Navies and the Armies, and there's just a lot of parity this year.
I'll tell you, I was at Vanderbilt last spring, and the stadium, they're redoing the stadium down there. And quite frankly, you're like, well, no one goes to these games anyway. Well, they're ranked all of a sudden. Texas coming to town. They had to put in seating for the game this weekend. They had to put in some seating because of the demand, because that whole stadium is completely, the two end zones are ripped apart. There's nothing there. They're trying to build that thing up, but they've been a fun story. You're right. The two academies, Army, Navy. You got an interesting Friday night game with Syracuse and Pitt as well. Penn State, Ohio State, they're going to be playing coming up here. You'll find out if Penn State's for real or not. They're 6-0. So there's some great storylines heading into this weekend of college football. Geoff Nadu, at Geoff Nadu. Follow him there. Check out his Patreon site and get all his college football, NBA, anything you got out there. You can follow Geoff and, of course, check out his Patreon page. And right here on the Sports Bash Live on 97.3 ESPN. All right, Geoff, good week, man.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, Geoff Nadu, as always, here on a Thursday, giving you the plays on the Sports Bash on 97.3 ESPN. I think you take a look at the one play that the Notre Dame Navy game, which is generally, it's a noon start, by the way, to kind of get you going. That's kind of one of those games that those two teams have just been playing forever. That's kind of like an afterthought. Notre Dame beats them all the time. I think Navy beat them a couple of years ago for the first time in like forever. But that's an actual one of the best games on the schedule this week. Notre Dame 12 in the poll, Navy 24. And it'll be interesting to see if Navy wins that game. That would put them at 7-0. What would that do for them in the rankings? This has been, we just talked about the playoffs with Geoff there. The football playoffs for college now, going to be a lot of interesting discussions on who gets in and who gets left out. We always talk about the 4 teams. Now you got 12 teams you're trying to figure out in the playoffs. All right, we got plenty more to go. Live here from Chickies and Pete's in Atlantic City at the Tropicana. And, of course, the Sports Bash has the Bet365 Play of the Day coming up next. Stick around.
Brian Radke here from Westwood One. Longtime NFL head coach Ron Rivera joins me from Los Angeles as we kick off Week 8 with Thursday Night Football between the Rams and the Vikings. Minnesota is coming off their first loss of the season to the Lions, while the Rams hope to build off their win on Sunday against the Raiders. Don't miss it. Vikings at the Rams coming up on Thursday Night Football.
Listen to Thursday Night Football. Coverage begins at 7:30 on 97.3 ESPN.
The best call to make on game day is ordering catering from the Piccalilli Inn. For parties big or small, the Pick does it all. Your guests will be cheering for the Pick spin on football favorites like pulled pork nachos, cheesesteaks, burgers, and their award-winning buffalo wings, tails, and ears. Get your chicken wing fix on Route 206 at the Piccalilli Inn. Join the flock and follow the Pick on Facebook or at piccalilli.com for their Pick game specials. And be sure to pre-order to guarantee your spot in Sunday's lineup.
This season, get premium tech that inspires joy from Dell Technologies. Bring projects to life with the XPS 16. It delivers supercharged processing for enhanced productivity and freedom to express yourself. Performance-class Dell PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors deliver a dedicated engine to help accelerate AI. Enjoy free shipping, Dell rewards, and expert support. When you get a Dell PC with AI, it gives back. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you, period, securing permits and workers and tools, getting those workers and tools to work together, and finding the perfect pair of overalls. Pockets, baby. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Switch for Power Mop. Switch for Power Mop.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code MOON5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code MOON5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code MOON5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
Find what you love, love what you find. A total wine and more. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Walk right through the door. It's all here to explore. With guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Drink responsibly, B21. Get your holidays started with the perfect tree in your perfect style from the Home Depot. Whether you want something that you can assemble in a few clicks, steal the show with over 2,000 color-changing bulbs, or a tree with lights that can be controlled by remote or foot pedal. The Home Depot has it all in our huge assortment of premium trees. Plus, get free delivery on over 2 million items this holiday from the Home Depot. Subject to availability, see homedepot.com/delivery for details.
Kids, work, running errands, sitting in traffic. Life is busy. Shore Physicians Group wants you to take time for your health. Shore Physicians Group offers the highest level of quality, compassionate care close to home with convenient locations in Margate, Marmora, Mays Landing, Northfield, Ocean City, and Summers Point. Life is busy. Take time for your health. Visit shorephysiciansgroup.com and make your appointment today.
You're listening to The Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Ready to get out of here for the Thursday night. We're live at Chickies and Pete's. Got all the games here. Got those A.J. Brown Sweet Heat Wings. Stop out and see us.
I got a nice tidbit here for you before you get to your play of the day.
Yeah, what do you got?
You mentioned the Eagles-Bengals tie.
Yep.
They tied twice in the past, 20 years or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was 23-23.
One of the games was the McNabb. I didn't know there was overtime. I didn't know there was ties in the NFL game.
2000, I think that was.
No, it was 08.
08, okay. So it was a Wentz game. I think it was a game with no fans.
That game was when Peterson punted in overtime. He actually played for the tie.
I do remember that.
So there you go.
But I think, it was 2020. No fans in attendance.
McNabb didn't know there was ties in the NFL.
All right, Bet365 play of the day. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Bet365. Josh, how'd we do last night?
Well, Mike, you nailed both your Sixer picks, and they kind of hit pretty early. Drummond had a double-double before the end of the third quarter, and Gary Trent got 2 threes, so you nailed both of those.
I like that. Just put your feet up, get those units going, put your feet up.
Yep.
Units. Wow, you went units on us, Pete.
Was there a third one I gave? I thought there was another one.
There is a third one, and I completely forgot to check it till now. So,
what was it?
Paolo Banchero, the rebounds.
Banchero had a massive. He had like 30 and 11 last night.
That's gonna be a good team.
Yeah, I definitely hit Banchero. He had like 34 points and 11 boards last night.
He got the boards.
Yeah.
So he went 3-0 last night.
Yeah. What's the updated standings?
So that would be 37 and 25.
37 and 25. See, Peachy. Forget Aaron doling out winners. We got Mike Gill out shackles. I got you tonight. Chet Holmgren, 17.5 points and assists. I like that number there. Going to go De'Aaron Fox over 28.5 points and assists. And Luka Doncic, 8.5 boards.
Going all hoops tonight, huh? No football.
Yeah, no football
No
field
pigskin.
tonight because the Rams got too many. I don't know what to do here, fellas. What do you got? All right. Puka Nacua back tonight. All right.
Maybe on a snap count. Who knows?
I got Deebo Samuel coming off pneumonia, but he doesn't play till Monday night. I got to decide. Deebo, Puka, A.J. Brown. I got Darnell Mooney. Now, Mooney played against the Bucks last time. He had over 100 yards and 2 touchy boobs.
See, I'm not touching Debo, the 10-foot pole.
The Debo thing does, but he's playing the 40. He's playing the Cowboys. Like, that's a Debo game, right? Just embarrass those clowns. How about, did you guys see the story about the former players about the Cowboys and how much of a clown show it is there? Did you read this yesterday?
No.
Some of the former players were talking about how ridiculous it is that they're trying to go over a game plan and they're giving tours of the stadium in the middle of the day.
Yeah, it's the sponsors and fans, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like sitting there and these people are staring at them through the I was like, how is this conducive?
That's a great visual, man.
Yeah, the one story was they interrupted one of the meetings so like an advertiser could come in and like say hi to everybody.
Yeah. Now that happens to us a lot. Like we'll be sitting there before the show
We're
starts.
not being paid millions of dollars to play football.
Exactly, but like but my point is, I can understand like you're getting ready for the show. People act like we just show up and do 4 hours. Like no, we get there like I'm usually there by 9:15 in the morning, getting ready for the show. And sometimes, the salespeople will bring like, hey, this is so-and-so from so-and-so. And you're like, hey, man. And they start asking you a bunch of questions. It kind of knocks you out of your, thing. I can understand them getting ready for a game and having like 40 middle school kids running through the place.
Jerry's World.
Getting ready for the 49ers. Oh, did you meet Joey's teacher over here? Have a great night. Thanks to Chickies and Pete's in Atlantic City, as always.
It's Sixers basketball tomorrow night on 97.3 ESPN.